All right, so I turn the microphone on, and then okay, I got to turn the camera on. There I am, and then put up the graphics. Thanks for tuning in. No, happy Thanksgiving. Everybody, happy Thanksgiving. There, put up the logo. Look! There we're going. We're going. Okay, now here we go. Hey, folks, thanks for tuning in. Do I get the right camera on? I'm not sure. Let's get this thing going, shall we? I think I just wanted to do something extra special for the Thanksgiving holiday. And so, without further ado, I'll just play you this, going into the show open. And here we go.
Are you ready, stoners? Oh. Hold on, get. Oh. Who lives in a bunk in a dormitory?
SpongeBob HempHead.
Disgusting and green and sticky as he.
SpongeBob HempHead.
It's smoking the chronic is something you do.
SpongeBob
Put
HempHead.
your thumb on the cob and he'll smoke it with you.
SpongeBob HempHead. SpongeBob HempHead. SpongeBob HempHead. SpongeBob HempHead.
You know, Hashbrick, I can't think of anything better than hanging out with my best friend and playing Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
I know one thing that could make it better.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
I think I am.
Then I'll just roll up a big fat... Oh, no!
What's wrong, SpongeBob?
We're out of seaweed!
No!
Wait, I've got an idea.
What?
Let's go get some more.
Good idea. Seconds later.
What do you want, SpongeBob?
Hi, Splifford. We'd like 1 sack of primo seaweed, please.
That'll be 65 clams.
65 clams, huh? Hold on. Here you go.
That's just a bunch of junk. Not worth a stem. Get out of here.
Splifford, please, just this one time. You gotta help me out, man. I swear I'll pay you back, please.
No. And don't come back till you have 65 clams or something that's worth 65 clams.
But we're broke and we don't have anything that's worth 65 clams.
Then sell your asses on the street.
Oh no, what are we gonna do? I don't want to sell my ass on the street.
I have an idea.
Are you sure this is a good idea?
Sure. Now we could trade this stolen stereo for some seaweed. I do it all the time.
Yay! Nyah! And our asses remain unsullied.
Hey! What are you doing to my car?
Mr. Crack!
Get back here with my stereo, you bottom feeders!
Seconds later.
One of you.
Check it out, we got an index CD, DVD, MP3 player with 32,000 color TFT display and detachable face. Can we get a sack of seaweed for this?
Hell yes.
Thank you.
This thing is awesome. My stereo! Give me back my stereo! Uh-oh.
That's stolen goods, and I'm stealing it back. You got that, sucker?
I got it all right.
Hey, you think Squidward is gonna be okay?
Who cares?
Yeah! Screw him!
He's a jerk.
Hashbrick, I think we're getting busted again.
So what?
Yeah, so what?
There you have it. That's how the perception is, gang. I just figured I'd throw that in for fun. I think that's, I don't know, they play that on some of the nighttime. You older folks, this is what the kids are looking at on TV at night. It plays off the old stereotypes, but it's also kind of funny. Welcome to the show. It's going to be Thanksgiving, like tomorrow or today, because this show is going to repeat tomorrow, which is today. Is it confusing enough for you? If it's not, we'll just get it more confusing by doing this.
The following presentation is controversial and may be offensive to some audiences.
Thanks for clicking on Zeitgeist. I'm Willie Geist. pot brownies have been a delightful, relaxing treat for decades now, but we've gone all this time without a delicious pot-based beverage to wash those babies down. Granted, a tall, cool glass of pot milk would go best with a plate of fresh-out-of-the-oven pot brownies, but the dairy community just isn't there yet from an R&D point of view. What we do have now, though, is pot cola. Medicinal pot cola. It's all about the healing, after all. This stuff is called Canaca, and it combines the two delicious tastes of soda and THC, which is the psychoactive ingredient found in marijuana. The drink comes in a 12-ounce can, and it's going to go for $10, $12, something like that, when it hits the shelves. Described by its creators as edible medicine, the cola will be available only to these weary souls who require medical marijuana for any variety of imagined ailments. People with medical marijuana cards in Colorado will get the first taste of Canaca next month in any of its 5 flavors.
Doc Weed, which is a Dr. Pepper type, kind of that cherry cola. Canaca, our flagship brand, which is going to be your classic cola flavor. You have to have a medical marijuana card, and you have to go to the dispensary, and you have to get a doctor's prescription.
I want that guy making the stuff I put in my body. As a public service, we would remind our viewers to drink Canaca in moderation. If you slam a 6-pack of the stuff on a Friday night, you just might end up like the Michigan cop who got so blazed not long ago that he called 911 because he thought he was dying.
I think I'm having an overdose, and so is my wife.
Overdose of what?
Marijuana. I don't know if it had something in it. Can you please send rescue?
Did you guys have fever or anything?
No, I think we're dying.
Okay, how much did you guys have?
I don't know. We made brownies, and I think we're dead. Time is going by really, 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 really slow.
Well, instead of being charged, Prilla. Sorry. Instead of being charged, the police department let the officer resign. His wife was not charged either. So far, police officials have not commented on the case.
I think Barella's stoned.
I think we're dead. Look, I know you're 22 and you've miraculously developed arthritis, but just sip the weed drink responsibly, won't you? That could be you on the other end of that 911 call. That's Zeitgeist for today. I'll be back here soon with much more of the news you cannot hear.
Countdown to launch. It's the medical marijuana
launch commit
radio show.
Guidance is internal. Ignition sequence start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. Power cleared. Got a roll program.
The Medical Marijuana Radio Show is a production of the Medical Marijuana Radio Network.
You tuned in to that medical marijuana show. 855 Triple M Radio. Keep it legal, keep it legal, keep it legal, keep it legal. Hey. You tuned in to that medical marijuana show. 855 Triple M Radio. Keep it legal, keep it legal, keep it legal, keep it legal. Okay, Steve is the host with the co-host Denise. Starting at noon Saturdays every week. Yes, we keepin' you legal. Legislators and lawyers, doctors and the growers. The show is for the people. Michigan medical marijuana, no hassle. We talk about anything, any issue we can handle. Call us up and let us know what is on your mind. And make sure when you do it legal every time. Hey. You tuned in to that medical marijuana show. 855 Triple M Radio. Keep it legal, keep it legal, keep it legal, keep it legal. Hey! You tuned in to that medical marijuana show. 855 Triple M Radio. Keep it legal, keep it legal, keep it legal.
Welcome to another Medical Marijuana Radio show. That's right. I played the weekend theme song during the week. I love that theme song. I missed it. I had to play it. We miss you, Denise. A happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. It's a special day. Or we're doing a special broadcast of the Medical Marijuana Radio Show. You know, I was listening to the Planet Green Trees show last night with Michael Camorn and all the guys on the show there. You can check out, it's a planetgreentrees.com, I believe. Check out Michael Camorn's show. Look, the link is on radioweedshow.com. If you go to other related show links, you can find it there. Pop that baby up and listen to it. I tried to get on the show last night. I don't know what's wrong. Their whole way of putting people on the air there is way different than the way I do it here. I've never done the way they do the Planet Green Trees show. It's on Blog Talk Radio, and all the phone call stuff happens with some kind of computer system through the network when you dial. They got some weird thing over there. But when you dial in, if you want to, it's like joining a conference call. You press 1, and they somehow notify the guy that's on the air, Michael Camorn, that you're on the air. And so I called in and sat there for like 45 minutes. I redialed like 5 times to try and get through. I don't know if the phone bank was full or what. It seemed like there was a lot of guys on the phone. But I never got through. I never got through to the Camorn show. The Planet Green Trees. They had Peanut Butter and all those guys are always on there. They had Rick Thompson on there last night. Rick's a regular on this show. Eric Gunnels was on there. I heard him on there. He's a regular on this show. Sometimes co-hosts the show. And so, it's been a crazy time. We got a phone call coming in. We'll might as well take it. I know who it is. Good morning. You're on the Medical Marijuana Radio Show.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm terrific. Is this Heather?
This is.
Hey, Heather. It's Steve Greene, obviously. For you guys who don't know Heather, go ahead and introduce yourself, Heather.
I am Heather, and I'm a volunteer with TNT MMP Resource Center in Lansing, Michigan.
And Heather was calling today. We talked earlier. We wanted to go down there and cover the court thing that was happening down there in Lansing with TNT. But, we were on the air. We would normally on the air during those hours.
Right.
And then we were hoping somebody was going to call. Did you guys have a big rally before the thing? Did you guys have some protesters out there? We were hoping to get some protesters chanting out there.
We did have some supporters come out and see us. We had the news was able to come out and cover the story for us.
Which news was out there? Channel 6 and 10 or something?
Channel 6 News came out, and they did do a story last night on the 6 o'clock news about the court date that we had yesterday.
Wow, I wish I had time. Sometimes Channel 6 or Channel 10, when they do stories out there in Lansing, they'll put them up online. Have you seen it online? Because I'd love to play it.
I haven't seen it online, no, actually. So I didn't even, my family told me about the story. They said it was a good story. I didn't catch the story myself. It's been pretty busy yesterday since we left there.
Well, what I'll do during one of the commercial breaks is I'll see if I can find the story. I'll download it, and I'll play it back if I can find it. I do that frequently. So I'll put the story on the air.
Okay.
Now, if for those of you who are not familiar with the court battle going on there in Lansing, let me tell you it's a unique one. And I'll tell you, let me just set the backdrop. Is that okay, Heather? Can I give you a little backdrop here for people to understand what's going on?
Sure.
So, TNT Patient Resources Center is right there on what they call the Green Mile. It's on Michigan Avenue heading towards the Capitol there in Lansing. About a mile before you get to the Capitol, you'll start to see as you leave the Capitol, going back east, you get about a mile down the street, and all of a sudden you start to see a couple of medical marijuana businesses on the left-hand side of the road and on the right-hand side of the road. And this is an area that has experienced urban blight. This is an area that has, really been run down in the past decade and a half. And people there's nobody coming there. And so when the medical marijuana community took over, they kind of said, well, look, there's this rundown area there. The rents are cheap. We can refurbish some buildings. I'll put some businesses back in there, put some people back to work, because goodness knows when people come to the medical marijuana places, there's all kinds of other economic activity happening. I mean, there's room for restaurants, and there's room for, fast food, and there's room for all kinds of other stuff. People support each other. It's nice when you go to one shop, you can go next door to the next one. Instead of just, a whole rundown bunch of buildings. So this area became known as the Green Mile because of the medical marijuana refurbishment in the area. And then the city of Lansing put together, with a lot of work, a lot of community steam, worked with their local legislators there inside City Hall in Lansing and put together some ordinances under which some of these dispensaries and business models could exist. And they all had to pay $1,000 application fee. Now, at some point, the Attorney General said, "Oh no. The appeals court, the Court of Appeals, has recently ruled, much under my undertaking, incidentally, that and he said that all dispensaries are illegal in Michigan, and they didn't rule that at all. What they said is patient-to-patient transfers involving money are illegal. A very narrow holding. Attorney General wants to paint that broadly, and so he doesn't like those that Green Mile down there in the face of the state's capital. He doesn't like that at all. He thinks that's a reflection of everywhere. It's really not. It's a kind of a unique situation down there, and I think it's a great one. But that's not the only medical marijuana businesses in Lansing. There are other ones outside of the Green Mile in other areas, surrounding downtown Lansing. And so when the Attorney General made his opinion and then also came out and said, the Court of Appeals said this, and I say this, close them all down, or we're going to close you down for you. And so basically they threatened the city through the Attorney General's office, and the city kind of caved and said, "Oh, okay, all those licenses that we issued, we're going to have to revoke them. You better close down, or we're going to have to shut you down." That's what the Attorney General says. And so, people like Tony at TNT Patient Resources Center are like, whoa, wait a minute. We don't want people on the door pointing guns at us. We're locking the doors until we get this figured out for a minute. And that's been the status quo ever since, hasn't it, Heather? You've been shut down.
Yes.
And so what happened is after a few minutes, your head's going to, explode. You got a business running, and now you got no money coming in because nobody can come and use the resources of your business. So they had to file suit is what they did. They filed suit against the city. You set up these rules, and you took our money, and now, you're giving our money back now? They gave you the money back, didn't they, Heather? The $1,000. But that doesn't matter. You still set up all these rules, and we're established business, and patients are relying on this, and we're relying on this, and now you say no? So they sued. And so the hearing was yesterday. Was that circuit court? Was that the circuit court there in Lansing?
Yes, it was.
Okay, and then so Heather is calling to give us an update as to what happened there in the court. They had the big rally out front a little bit, and then you guys went into court. Now, I didn't hear from nobody until later in the evening when we found out there is a decision pending.
That's correct. We are waiting to hear from Judge Manderfield in regards to whether or not this should be heard at a state level. We feel confident that it will be held at a state level and heard, at a state level. Because it's something that needs to be addressed. It's not something that can set on the back burner. We need to get this figured out because there's thousands and thousands of patients registered with the state of Michigan.
Right.
In which the state of Michigan has cashed their fees and accepted their application.
Heather, hang on one second. I know I set this all up, and I know you're starting to talk. We're going to break. We're going to take a real quick break, and we'll come right back. This is the Medical Marijuana Radio Show on RadioWeedShow.com. Folks, don't go away.
Got something to say?
Call now toll free. 855-MMM Radio. The Medical Marijuana Radio Network.
If you are a carded Michigan medical marijuana patient with a need for safe access but have reservations about privacy and discretion, there is an answer. It's the Ant Farm. The Ant Farm is Metro Detroit's trusted professional mobile transfer service. Write this toll-free number down, 888-369-3320. Lab-tested, mold and pesticide-free. It's the Ant Farm's convenience you'll try, but quality standards, privacy, and friendly professionals that will bring you back. The Ant Farm comes to you. Call for discreet details right away. 888-369-3320. The patient's place for medical marijuana and safe access is Third Coast. Beautiful downtown Ypsilanti is where you can get safe, affordable access to education and materials concerning your specific needs, and quality products designed to meet your exacting needs. It's the Third Coast, 19 North Hamilton in Ypsilanti. Convenient hours, friendly, professional, compassionate. Call Third Coast today, 734-487-5402. That's the Third Coast Compassion Center in downtown Ypsilanti, 734-487-5402.
The Greene Collective.
Hey, medical marijuana patients, it's time to discover what all the buzz is about in Ann Arbor.
The Greene Collective.
The Green Bee Collective is busy making sure your patient needs are met with high-quality, locally grown meds.
The Greene Collective.
Get to know the information, the research, the benefit available to your condition.
The Greene Collective.
Weekly specials in just minutes from downtown Ann Arbor and I-94.
The Greene Collective.
The details are sweet at mmmgreenbee.com. Call 734-929-2553 now. Hey, Steve Greene here for the Medical Marijuana Certifications at AMMP. They're the American Medical Marijuana Professionals. You'll find them just north of Utica Road on Gratiot in Roseville. Their address is 28349. Now, call-ins are welcome, but you're better off calling for an appointment. They have a toll-free number, 877-RX-420-99. That's 877-RX-420-99 for American Medical Marijuana Professionals. That's AMMP on Gratiot in Roseville. The law offices of Targowski and Grow remind you to stand up for your rights. Always treat law enforcement with respect, but if you're detained or arrested, stand up for your rights by repeating, I respectfully invoke all of my legal and constitutional rights. I do not consent to any search or seizure. I want to remain silent, and I want to talk to my attorneys, John Targowski and Daniel Grow. Targowski and Grow have the education and experience you need to be successful in Michigan courts. Call Targowski and Grow toll-free, 800-957-1069. The law offices of Targowski and Grow, 800-957-1069. Welcome back to the Medical Marijuana Radio Show. It is a Thanksgiving special show. God, I love this Theory of a Dead Man song. With us on the phone today is Heather she's an associate with Patient Resources Center, the TNT Patient Resources Center there in Lansing. Welcome back on the phones, Heather.
Thank you.
So go ahead and pick up from where you left off. You were starting to tell us about what happened inside the courtroom yesterday there in Lansing. If you're listening on Thanksgiving Day, this was the day before yesterday.
Yes, we spent about 45 minutes in the courtroom in front of Judge Manderfield, and she did hear, both sides, and I will say that both sides brought up good points. However, we have a strong argument as far as how these thousands and thousands of patients that are registered with the state of Michigan are going to obtain safe access to their medications if they're unable to, have a caregiver or be able to provide their own medical marijuana. I mean, we're talking about patients with asthma, cancer, Crohn's disease. I mean, lots of things. MS, can you imagine these patients trying to actually cultivate a garden to produce this medical marijuana for themselves if they don't have a caregiver?
Look, it's a difficult thing to do if you're a healthy person. This is a rough job, especially if you're caregiving. Right. It's really hard to do.
Absolutely.
If you're going to do it right anyways. Anybody can plant a seed and grow a plant. But to gain medicine out of it is a wholly entire different venture.
Absolutely. So, we want to fight hard for that, and we want people to work together and stand strong, and all the supporters, as much as we can, we're gonna keep everybody updated on what's going on with this.
So let's talk.
As of right now,
go ahead.
As of right now, we're just we're waiting. It can take worst case scenario, it can take up to 45 days. We are hoping it does not take that long. We are definitely hoping that Judge Manderfield sees at least our side and allows us to be heard at a state level, because it's something that we need to address. And, we feel confident she'll do that. It's our understanding she used to be a nurse. She's worked in the medical field.
Right.
This is a real thing, and this does benefit people, terminally ill people.
It's not just terminally ill people, but those are the ones that are certainly going to have the biggest impact for sure. I mean,
those are the ones that are being affected the most right now.
Well, it certainly have the biggest impact. If you're going to take quality away from my life, and my life is already limited in days, that's something I can't get back. And I say I've got a good cause of action against people who are preventing me from accessing medicine that are going to keep my quality of life high.
Absolutely.
And now it's not to say that nobody else is being impacted either, because you could make out of an HIV patient that can't take their meds anymore because they're throwing up their regular HIV meds. That's going to make them resistant. That's going to cause them a future problem. It's not going to be immediate. It's going to be down the line. And then if you're an MS patient who's got to go through awful spasming, and this is just ruining their quality of life. Why put these people back through the torture of their own illnesses when they've got a safe, effective remedy through a place like a Patient Resources Center? So the effect of this is strong. And the Attorney General would like to label this as, dangerous and kids and all this stuff. It's all a bunch of hogwash. Because, the fact of the matter is kids aren't walking into dispensaries and getting medical marijuana.
The fact is, if kids want pot, they can get regular street pot right from their friends there at school. It happens on a regular basis.
Right.
But, to paint the medical marijuana guys as the guys providing pot to kids is just ludicrous.
Yeah.
I haven't seen, and nobody can point to a single kid who's gone in and illegally obtained marijuana from a dispensary or any kind of business model similar.
Well, I can.
Go ahead.
I can tell you the resource center that I'm affiliated with. We have absolutely followed every rule that's been in place. Anything that needed to happen as far as city ordinance wise in order for us to obtain our business license to do this.
A lot of blood, sweat, and tears went into setting this up the right way.
Absolutely, absolutely, and we were still putting finishing touches on it, and we were still spending money when they told us to close the doors. And some people say
it wasn't just this wasn't just a request. This was a demand. You have to close your doors, or we're going to close them for you at the point of a gun.
It was definitely worded strongly enough to where we felt it was more important for our people.
Safety first, people. Safety first.
Absolutely, we felt it was more important, and we hope that we have. I mean, we want to be law-abiding citizens. That's why we closed our doors, and that's why we took it to court.
Look at the better thing you did. I mean, you also did this for the benefit of your patients. Number one,
absolutely.
If you stay open and they close you down at the point of a gun, that's a much harder situation to open back up.
Right.
And so they're taking that step for their patients there, and then also. If you're a patient and you're in there getting medicine and they happen to run in there and try and cause a cause of action there, you don't want to be around in that situation. You don't want to place your employees or your patients in that situation.
Absolutely not. We all have families. And, sure, we could get attorneys and we could fight it and we could come out on top.
Who wants to be in a place
to go through that?
Who wants to be in a place when they're getting raided, though? I mean, they got real guns. Those are real weapons pointed at real people. So I say it's a good thing that you close down just to protect patients and your own employees. However, in the face of this, there's something that sticks in your craw, isn't there? It sticks in my craw too, because there's other places just like you open that are not on the Green Mile there, that are not on Michigan Avenue.
Right, they're on other ends of town, and they are, according to their own paperwork and memos that they're sending out to members, and people have seen doctors through their facilities. They are quote unquote business as usual.
Right.
They've added some services, but however, they're business as usual, and they're still slowly adding services. It didn't start off that way.
And these guys got threatened the same way. Don't get it wrong. I mean, they were threatened too.
Absolutely. Everybody got the same notice. And
so here's the bigger picture. I mean, it's you're going into a dispensary. You're going in at your own risk, no matter where it's at right now. Until this gets settled out a little bit more. And it won't be that much longer. I'd say in a few more months, this will get cleared up one way or another. Both you got your court case, they'll get a decision there. Hopefully, if it's a favorable one, because I'd say that if it's not a favorable one, those guys that are still open are going to have an awful hard time existing, because the court just said no, we just ruled on this issue. So I hope for the benefit of patients and caregivers and all these people who've put their hard work and money and their lives, a lot of people have thrown everything they've got into this kitty. So
if there's anybody that could write a letter to the judge, giving their opinion before she makes her decision, before she makes an opinion, that would be greatly helpful too. That's one way we can all stand together. Judge Paula Manderfield, 313 West Kalamazoo, Lansing, Michigan, 48909.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Here's the thing. I mean, I've lived around courts all my life, and I understand that judges, when they make decisions, are based on things that happen in the courtroom. They're based on law, and they're based on facts presented in the courtroom. So, outside these, we can affect the judge all we want by saying what we feel and how what our opinions are and how this affects people. But they're not legislators. They're bound by law. And they kind of have to do what they see. They're using their judgment. We've given them the power to use their judgment and apply the law to a particular case. And so I think outside influence is probably inappropriate. Although it's I'm not discouraging people. I'm just saying in the long run it may have no effect. I think anything that happens that the judge is going to decide on, her decision is going to be based on the law and based on the case in front of her. as it was presented.
Well, I do feel it would be based on the law as well. I mean, that's her job. It's her legal obligation is to uphold the law and go according to the law.
Now, I think if you're gonna write people, I think you should write your legislators. I think you should write your state representative, your senator, your House rep, both state and federally, because that has some impact. Those guys aren't bound by law. They make law. So I think that's the place that you want to send your if you got I've got a huge gripe about this. I think I've got a big beef to pick with the city and the state about this over closing you guys down or having the effect of denying patients safe access. That's just not acceptable in my book. But so if you got a beef,
we as patients need to also find a way, like I said, just to band together, stick together,
that's
stay
right.
strong,
support each other,
fight for our rights, support each other, fight for our rights, and let the community know that we do support each other.
Look, you guys were up there in Traverse City. You guys towed all the way up to Traverse City to help fight their fight up there. And so
that's right.
Hopefully maybe some of these people can come down and help you fight your fight down there, because it's an important one. We don't want to lose sight of it. I think we should shine a spotlight on that situation out there, because, every time we have a court decision, whether it's a civil case or whether it's a criminal case, these all have an effect on us at the end of the day. It affects every one of us. So
it definitely does.
In the long run, I thank you for coming on and talking about this. Is there anything else that we can do to lend our support, our listeners? If we can send people out that way, what else can we do to help you out? Are you guys doing some care there other than providing safe access? Are you providing some information? Are you doing any other kind of services?
We are. There will be myself and some other volunteers working together, taking calls. We will be opening the doors periodically as we're able to do so. And we will have, actually, December 3rd, there is going to be a doctor there at our facility, TNT 2121 East Michigan Avenue. And he will be doing certifications for those who would like to become legal patients. And also renewals will be done there as well. And, aside from that, we'll be there to answer any questions if people want to come in and ask, or if they want to give a call, and keep everybody updated as things go on, so that everybody knows exactly as they go then, what's happening.
Here's a great idea. I think another way of affecting public sentiment on this and, applying this towards the court case at hand, again, it's probably not going to have any effect, but it's nice to have the stack. I would say have your patients bring in letters. Bring in a letter, a printed out letter. Just type out a letter and print it out on your printer and bring it down there and say, hey, I'm a patient here, and I think that the courts are really screwing us up. Put your opinion on paper and bring it down there.
We have actually started as well. We started some affidavits that we already turned in to the judge. We will be getting more. We're still taking them, the affidavits, and we will also have those on hand at the resource center as well.
So now this lawsuit, is this asking for declaratory relief? Is this asking for them to say, no, you can't, these guys have a license, you got to keep it in force?
Well, yeah, we would hope they say you could, open back up for services, but once our initial goal is to make sure that this is at least heard at a state level, and hopefully the decision will be for us to be able to open up, to be able to continue to assist these patients, and then obviously set something in place to where we make it all, completely legitimate and everyone is happy, so that this is regulated.
Did you guys ask for monetary damages, ask them to repair the damage that they caused by closing your facility down, and because that's costing you money to stay open. You got employees there. They've been affected by this. You got a building to pay for. You got electricity and cable and all this other stuff to pay for. Did you ask them to pay back some of those losses?
Yes, we did, and we also, when this is all said and done, we've also been informed that our members, may have their own individual lawsuats, because they've been harmed here. Let's be honest, they have been harmed. These sick patients that are used to being able to come to our resource center and obtain their medical marijuana no longer have that access, and they may become so desperate that they've got to go out on the street at a party store where they know drug dealers hang out and try to purchase some marijuana from them.
I got to back to the backroom dealing. Got to push the poor medical patients back behind the dumpster where they're liable to get knocked over the head and get stolen from.
That is dangerous. That is dangerous for them, and that should not be happening. There are people that really need this, and if they don't have a caregiver, they don't have access to it right now. That puts people in a bad position, and people do things like that when they're in bad positions.
It's a horrible state of affairs, and we're fighting through it. But it's the holiday season, and so we're gonna put on our holiday faces and celebrate the holidays and look forward to what's coming, because there's a lot of good stuff coming, I'd say, in the next few months. And as the new year opens up, I'd say I think you're gonna be surprised by what's going on. I think a couple of things are happening. I think we're actually making some impact with our legislators. It's evidenced by the fact that they've pushed this off their legislative agenda for this year and into the beginning of next year. This means they're examining it with closer detail, and they're allowing some input that they were formerly, not letting in.
Right.
So those are all good signs. I'd say a couple of other good signs. Some of these legislators that were completely opposed before, we've made some headway into at least explaining some truth to them, and as they apply the truth to the reality of the scene on in the theater, I think they're starting to get a level head on their shoulders, and it's more apparent that this is being described by opponents in such a way that is really almost unbelievable. It's hard to believe people like Mr. Schuette. I call him Billy Bong because, let's face it, he smoked pot all through college. Ask his roommates. He's admitted this. So for somebody like Mr. Schuette to be such a hypocrite as to explain that, marijuana is so dangerous that it needs to be kept illegal on every level, and that it's only medical use, even though the people have passed this medical law, is only for those who are just on death's door. What good is that doing people, Mr. Schuette? Billy Bong, get your head on straight, and stop rallying against the people who are just sick and ill and trying to handle their own medical affairs with the best way that they know how. And in many cases, it's trying to repair something that the traditional medicine has left them a hole with. If you're in the traditional medicine field, look, this is my case. I'm an HIV patient. I take meds that make me very ill. They make me sick to my stomach. If I don't have something to keep them down, I'll lose them and I can't replace them, and then I go resistant to those meds. So if I have an absence, if I go to the medical doctor and he gives me something for nausea, and it's non-effective I still am throwing up the other medicine, and then they try something else, and I still got the same problem. After swing 3, I'm trying another therapy. I'm going to try something else to keep my food down, whatever it is.
Absolutely.
And if somebody offers me marijuana and that keeps my food down, guess what I'm using every time I take HIV meds? That's exactly what I'm using. Screw the rest of the world. This works for me. And this is the same situation in every other medical application of marijuana that I've seen. It happens with MS. It happens with chronic pain. It happens with people who are having epileptic fits. It happens with people with post-traumatic stress disorder, where they're a threat to their spouse right now because in the middle of the night they could wake up and beat the hell out of them because they thought they were Al-Qaeda. This is the kind of thing that alleviates these problems. This is a loved one in danger at night of their own spouse because they don't have access to something that would prevent such a thing. So this is important to a great many people, and I still say that. And I think most people in the community and otherwise agree. I think the community at large agrees that the opponents need to stop already. Enough is enough. The partnership from a drug-free America, if you pull back the curtain, you'll see that it's big alcohol and big pharma sending those messages. That's special interest money, people. All the little commercials you see with the little girl riding her bicycle and the stone guy at the fast food place driving through and hitting her, that's all a bunch of poppycock. If that ever happened, you'd be front page news nationwide. It doesn't.
Absolutely not.
So we love you. We reach out to you, Heather and Tony, and oh good Lord, who's the other guy? The Corey the bud tender. See, I can't.
Corey, yep.
We reach out to all of you guys. We send our holiday spirit love.
We appreciate your guys' support. We appreciate. The support of the media, of all media around us. We appreciate, Judge Manderfield hearing us and, taking the time to.
She's doing her job. That's her job.
Yes.
Hopefully she does it accordingly. I mean, no matter what her decision is, I'm sure it's based on, her best judgment. And you know, in the long run, a lot of things, people's hands are tied with certain things, and this is why it's important that we fight this on a broader scale, and that'll bring us to another part of the program. We hope that you get a chance to tune in. You guys are out there in Lansing. We're out here in Detroit. Our regular terrestrial signal you couldn't hear on the AM radio. Here on the internet, you can get us right now. And this will be looping the rest of the day and also all day Thanksgiving Day. So hopefully you'll have a chance to listen back because there's more. There's a few more steps to this. We opened the show up with this topic because, number one, it just happened. It's fresh news. And we like to be on top of that. But number two, there are answers to some of these questions that we've posed. And there are other questions, not with this particular situation, but in other areas. There are other questions at hand. And so the rest of the show will go towards those places. We'll talk about these other issues in other places and what to look forward to coming up in the new year. So one more time, give them, you say you got some certifications going on December 3rd, TNT Patient Resources Center right there on Michigan Avenue. What's the address, Heather?
2121 East Michigan Avenue.
And is there a number they can call? Can they get a hold of you by phone, or is it still too hard because of the things, the doors are shuttered for the most part?
I'm taking calls for all the appointments, and I can be reached any time of the day at a 517 area code 303-3057.
Thanks again. It's the Medical Marijuana Radio Show, folks. We're going back to break. Heather, we'll talk to you soon. Tune us in on RadioWeedShow.com, okay?
All right, thanks a lot. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. We'll talk to you soon. Folks, don't go away. More coming up.
Steve and Denise will be right back on the Medical Marijuana Radio Show. The Medical Marijuana Radio Network.
The Greene Collective.
Hey, medical marijuana patients, it's time to discover what all the buzz is about in Ann Arbor.
The Greene Collective.
The Greene Bee Collective is busy making sure your patient needs are met with high-quality, locally grown meds.
The Greene Collective.
Get to know the information, the research, the benefit available to your condition.
The Greene Collective.
Weekly specials in just minutes from downtown Ann Arbor and I-94.
The Greene Collective.
The details are sweet at mmmgreenbee.com. Call 734-929-2553 now. If you are a carded Michigan medical marijuana patient with a need for safe access but have reservations about privacy and discretion, there is an answer. It's the Ant Farm. The Ant Farm is Metro Detroit's trusted professional mobile transfer service. Write this toll-free number down, 888-369-3320. Lab-tested, mold and pesticide-free. It's the Ant Farm's convenience you'll try, but quality standards, privacy, and friendly professionals that will bring you back. The Ant Farm comes to you. Call for discreet details right away. 888-369-3320. Hey, Steve Greene here for the Medical Marijuana Certifications at AMMP. They're the American Medical Marijuana Professionals. You'll find them just north of Utica Road on Gratiot in Roseville. Their address is 28349. Now, call-ins are welcome, but you're better off calling for an appointment. They have a toll-free number, 877-RX-420-99. That's 877-RX-420-99 for American Medical Marijuana Professionals. That's AMMP on Gratiot in Roseville. The patient's place for medical marijuana and safe access is Third Coast. Beautiful downtown Ypsilanti is where you can get safe, affordable access to education and materials concerning your specific needs and quality products designed to meet your exacting needs. It's the Third Coast, 19 North Hamilton in Ypsilanti. Convenient hours, friendly, professional, compassionate. Call Third Coast today, 734-487-50. 402. That's the Third Coast Compassion Center in downtown Ypsilanti. 734-487-5402. The law offices of Targowski and Grow remind you to stand up for your rights. Always treat law enforcement with respect, but if you're detained or arrested, stand up for your rights by repeating, I respectfully invoke all of my legal and constitutional rights. I do not consent to any search or seizure. I want to remain silent, and I want to talk to my attorneys, John Targowski and Daniel Grow. Targowski and Grow have the education and experience you need to be successful in Michigan courts. Call Targowski and Grow toll-free, 800-957-1069. The law offices of Targowski and Grow, 800-957-1069. Yeah!
It's the Medical Marijuana Radio Show.
It's the Medical Marijuana Radio Show, a special Thanksgiving edition. A 2-hour show only today, rotating all throughout the day. Thanks for tuning in. You want to be on the show? Number to call is 810-423-2350. I'm Steve Greene. We do the show every Monday through Friday during the day. You'll find us middays here during the week, and then on the weekend at 1310 a.m., Detroit's Progressive Talk. It's WDTW in Detroit. I love that station. It's a tiny little station in Detroit, but, you know, I just got the size matters thing in my head. The size matters thing popped in my head. It's a guy thing. So now the whole thing with 1310, that's an expensive venture over there. And we're finding creative ways to pay for that expensive venture. So we're off on the holiday. We're off on hiatus over the holiday, though, we're at 1310. And we're digging up some cash to go back on the air over there. And so we'll talk to Bobby here in a few minutes, Robert Steckroth. He does our web development. We've got some stuff that we put up on the web. It's in development. It's almost fixed. Some news about iTunes, some news about some other stuff on the web, events, calendars, and other stuff. Oh, it's great stuff. In the meanwhile, we'll see if we can get a hold of, before we call Bob, try and call Amsterdam, get a live High Times Cannabis Cup update from the Buzz News. See if we can get Dan from the Buzz News. It's ringing. Holy cow, it's ringing. Calling Amsterdam.
Hello?
Hey, Dan, is this Dan?
Yeah, this is Dan.
Hey, it's Steve Greene from the Medical Marijuana Radio Show. Happy Thanksgiving to you in Amsterdam, sir.
Hey, what's up, brother? How you doing?
We're doing really well. We had to call and get an update from you.
Oh, man, everything's going great over here. Except for the police just came in and shook everybody down, but it's all right. Everybody's still smoking and blazing.
Wait a minute.
Whoa,
hang on. We got a repeat of Detroit. Did the Detroit cops show up in there? Are they taking people's pipes?
Showed up. The cops showed up. It's worse than Detroit. The police, they're everywhere. They come down. They shut down the lighter mate booths. Everybody's getting searched to get out of the venue.
No kidding. Crackdown in Amsterdam.
Kidding.
Hot news.
Buzzkill. Talk about a buzzkill. Everybody's walking around trying to smoke their weed as fast as they can before they walk through the checkpoint.
Good Lord, it's safer in Michigan than it is in Amsterdam. I don't want to hear that. Well,
Safer in Michigan. Yeah, I mean, we went through the checkpoint good and clear. We're on the outside now. We're getting ready to go tear up Amsterdam, hit some coffee shops with the lighter mate crew, and just get our medical on.
Wow,
got a concert tonight with Be Real from Cypress Hill.
Did you guys get pictures of the cops? Are you guys taking photos of this stuff?
Oh yeah, we got lots of photos of that. Absolutely.
Hey, we gotta get some. You gotta send us some photos back. Send a couple to me. We'll put them up on the site so that people can see what's going on out there in Amsterdam. Would you do that for us?
Yeah, absolutely, we will. I haven't been by a Wi-Fi. I haven't sent any, but we just got a new hotel room with Wi-Fi, so I can send you guys some over.
It's kind of sketchy when you're in another country, isn't it?
Oh, man, the country is amazing. I'll tell you that. The people are nice. There's these bakeries all over the streets, and I don't know if I could live here forever. I think I would explode from delicious baked goods.
Those Europeans know how to live it up. I'll tell you what.
Oh, man. And everything, there's no frosting. Everything's dipped in thick, fine Dutch chocolate,
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Can I slobber like Homer here for a second? Oh,
yeah, for everyone, the coffee shop with the marijuana, there's 2 bakeries.
Right. Well, you got the pot shop, and then next door. Okay, for the benefit of Bill Schuette, there are pot shops in Amsterdam. That's where the pot shops are at.
Right.
But you got the pot shop, and then right next to the pot shop, you got a baked goods store, and right next to the baked goods store is another baked goods store.
Right. And then you got to figure, for that, you got to have the uniforms clean, and you got to buy all their stuff somewhere. So
look at the industry.
Cook the food, and it's a chain of events that take place. Nothing happens overnight.
Dan does the Buzzed News. You can find them at buzznews.com. Check them out online. Check them out you find them in. You guys are distributed right in front of the Meyer stores here in Michigan, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a contract with Viking, and they put us in all those stores.
That's really cool. It's really cool that you can walk into the Meyer store as you're doing some Christmas shopping and pick up a copy of the Buzz News and check out what's going down.
Right, exactly. That what makes it better. What's better is we want to touch people that had no idea about this I often feel like we have a big, you know, like we're paddling water, talking to the same people. You go to the rallies, you see the same faces. And I just often feel like we're preaching to the choir. So it's nice to be able to get those out in public locations so we can educate the masses.
Absolutely. And then it's nice to step outside your bubble here in the States and here in Michigan and, you know, go worldwide, go get a little broader and check out other countries and see what's going down in the marijuana propagation happening there in Amsterdam. And apparently it's not propagation anymore. It looks like it's crackdown time there in Amsterdam. The Netherlands, they're on the slide.
I'll tell you what, when I talked to you a couple of days ago, the weed that I had seen out here wasn't that impressive. However,
it's
the
changed,
long
huh?
dreadlocks, the good weed is like a magnet to my dreadlocks. So it wasn't long before I was bestowed some of the most finest weed in all of the world.
Wow. So you're telling me that you've checked out the best stuff that you've ever found?
That I've ever seen, smoked, smelled. Absolutely amazing, amazing strains.
Okay,
that
now,
you just
don't hold out on us. Now you got to tell us the strain. What strain did you check out? What's the number one strain on the Buzz News list is, drum roll,
the Dr. Grinspoon.
Dr. Grinspoon.
Dr. Grinspoon. It's got well grown. Oh my goodness! It's got the most. You're ready to rule the world. It's just a sativa to the extreme, 100% sativa. And I'll tell you what, you know, it's very energetic to be walking around all these streets over here in Amsterdam. You need something to keep a little pop in your step.
A little pop in your step.
Yeah, you can't mess with the indicas until after 8 or 10 o'clock at night.
No kidding. Hey, the last time you were on the show here, you were talking about the crazy M, the I'm Loving It thing, the T-shirt for the red light district there in Amsterdam. I think I've seen it. Somebody posted it over here. I saw it on was it smoke something and talk some mad crap or something? It was one of the Facebook posts. I saw that thing. It's pretty funny.
It's pretty funny. Now, last night, my wife and I, Casey, we walked down through the red light district just to take in the sights and kind of be amazed. And let me tell you what. Amazing. Not one girl, not 10 girls, 150 or more girls in these window doors.
Oh, good.
They're all trying to get your attention. They're pounding on the glass. Over here, they open the door. Come on, Cesar. All kinds, all makes and models.
Are they doing
ones, little ones?
Are they doing like they do in New Orleans, where they flash you from the balcony?
Yeah. I'll tell you, it's just amazing. You just are amazed. You can't believe.
You should throw some.
You want this? 50 euro. 50 euro. Everything's 50 euro if you want to go to the red light district.
What you do is you throw some beads at them and lift your shirt.
Right. Well, you know, it's government regulated here. These girls, they go and get regular health checks.
Oh, I know.
And you know, per government. And realistically, I don't see why it's such an issue if, you know, keep the people where these people are like these. It's individual people, find the kind of individual people that they're like, and they go and they do their business, and it's regulated and taxed, and there's not a problem with it. And, you know, it's really reduced the disease rate among the city. It's reduced the crime rate, less sex crimes, rapes, and things like that, because the guy can feel comfortable to go over to a government-regulated place. He's getting a clean piece of ass, and he's ready to go.
He's getting all kinds of. You go to Amsterdam and get what you want, I suppose.
So yeah, I mean, other than it's the tax guys that came in today. They're trying to bust the businesses that didn't have proper tax paperwork. It's not really anything about, you know, busting people with weed. It's all about the taxes here. So that's all. We just had to take part, and you know, now we'll all go hit the coffee shops and we'll just get us. I don't think I have came down since I got here. You know, as soon as I got here, Ed Rowe from Delta 9 Lads, he just gave us some of the best strawberry skunk and fruit of the gods, some of his private stock. And I've been pretty much stoned since that day, that second.
Hey, is the comedian that was on stage here? Did he go out there? The comedian the comedian that did the stage presence here in Detroit. Did he?
Oh, what was his name? Rob Cantrell.
Yeah, Rob Cantrell.
No, I haven't seen Rob Cantrell anywhere, but we did love him. What a great comedian he was, huh?
Oh, he's a funny guy. You know, Rob. when Rob was leaving, it was really funny because when we were breaking down the High Times event, I'm not sure how much time we got left in this break, but I'll tell you the story real quick. We're leaving the High Times event. We're breaking down we're the last booth out the door because we got all this electronic equipment and stuff to bundle up and, roll up the cords, and it takes forever. So we're like one of some of the last guys out, and we're sitting right next to the exit door. We had like a side exit door right behind our booth, behind the curtains there. And so Cantrell comes down with a couple of his buddies, and as he's leaving out the door, he says, "Hey, you want some weed?" And I'm like, "Look, I don't have any money." And he's like, "It's free." And he reaches in his sock and he pulls out a couple of joints, and he's like, "Here." And he took off. I thought that was great. Look, Dan, we're going to break. Hang on, we'll be right back. Coming back with more on the RadioWeedShow.com. It's the Medical Marijuana Morning Show.
More of your calls next on the Medical Marijuana Radio Show. The Medical Marijuana Radio Network.
The law offices of Targowski and Grow remind you to stand up for your rights. Always treat law enforcement with respect, but if you're detained or arrested, stand up for your rights by repeating, "I respectfully invoke all of my legal and constitutional rights. I do not consent to any search or seizure. I want to remain silent, and I want to talk to my attorneys, John Targowski and Daniel Grow. Targowski and Grow have the education and experience you need to be successful in Michigan courts. Call Targowski and Grow toll-free, 800-957-1069. The law offices of Targowski and Grow, 800-957-1069. If you are a carded Michigan medical marijuana patient with a need for safe access but have reservations about privacy and discretion, there is an answer. It's the Ant Farm. The Ant Farm is Metro Detroit's trusted professional mobile transfer service. Write this toll-free number down, 888-369-3320. Lab-tested, mold and pesticide-free. It's the Ant Farm's convenient you'll try, but quality standards, privacy, and friendly professionals that will bring you back. The Ant Farm comes to you. Call for discreet details right away. 888-369-3320. The patient's place for medical marijuana and safe access is Third Coast. Beautiful downtown Ypsilanti is where you can get safe, affordable access to education and materials concerning your specific needs, and quality products designed to meet your exacting needs. It's the Third Coast, 19 North Hamilton in Ypsilanti. Convenient hours, friendly, professional, compassionate. Call Third Coast today, 734-487-5402. That's the Third Coast Compassion Center in downtown Ypsilanti, 734-487-5402. Hey, Steve Greene here for the Medical Marijuana Certifications at AMMP. They're the American Medical Marijuana Professionals. You'll find them just north of Utica Road on Gratiot in Roseville. Their address is 28349. Now, call-ins are welcome, but you're better off calling for an appointment. They have a toll-free number, 877-RX-420-99. That's 877-RX-420-99 for American Medical Marijuana Professionals. That's AMMP on Gratiot in Roseville.
The Greene Collective.
Hey, medical marijuana patients, it's time to discover what all the buzz is about in Ann Arbor.
The Greene Collective.
The Green Bee Collective is busy making sure your patient needs are met with high-quality, locally grown meds.
The Greene Collective.
Get to know the information, the research, the benefit available to your condition.
The Greene Collective.
Weekly specials in just minutes from downtown Ann Arbor and I-94.
The Greene Collective.
The details are sweet at mmmgreenbee.com. Call 734-929-2553 now. Back on. I think. We're back on.
It's the Medical Marijuana Radio Show.
I try and find some love for my body.
Welcome back to the Medical Marijuana Radio Show. RadioWeedShow.com. I'm Steve Greene. Happy Thanksgiving to you. What a great time. What a great, beautiful holiday it is here in Michigan and the United States of America. We're so happy to be here and share this time with you. You'll find us here every weekend from noon until 1. And then you'll also find us on RadioWeedShow.com during the week. Calling Buzz back in Amsterdam. There he is. Hey, how you doing?
This is Daniel with the Buzz News over in Amsterdam.
There it is indeed. Daniel,
Yeah.
we've looked at it. This is a really short segment. We're wrapping up the first hour of the show. So we only got about five or 6 minutes here. But tell us some other interesting stuff that's happening out there. And then also tell us what's going on with the Buzz News. Tell us, make it rain.
Oh, the Buzz News, we're blowing up. We're trying to make our presence known worldwide as a pillar of truth so that people have a place to turn to when they're looking for real solid answers to questions that are often misunderstood or misinterpreted. we want to be here to help, decipher the truth from the bullshit. But no matter what the issue is, if it's, a shady dispensary owner or, a politician that's crooked, we want to be able to expose that, identify the problem so that the movement of the people can progress,
Well, somebody's got to do something, and this is the pressure we apply.
Exactly. They try to run our media outlets and stuff like that, and that's where we came at. How you can't run me, and if anything happens to me, then it's because I'm leaking truth, and that means we won no matter what.
And that's it. This is freedom of speech, guys. No matter what's legal and what's not legal, we can come on here and talk about anything we want. This is what people died for this right in this country. Nobody can come in here and say you can't say that.
Absolutely.
Unless we're yelling fire in a crowded theater, pretty much your speech is protected. And so, but they threatened us anyways. They threatened you. They've threatened me directly. They said, "Look, you guys that are running media about this, accepting money from these businesses, we're going to call that illegal. We're going to come after you." It's a bunch of. They're never going to do it. But they have.
Here's the thing. We're little guys, but there's big publications involved and big tall dollars. So we might feel like we're a little boys tucked up in the Mitten State and snow and rain and everything, but we're part of a bigger network of things that have a lot of merit and a lot of balance in this industry. And I consider myself to be a frontline activist, and I have forever. I'm the one on the front line with the picket signs. I'm the one that's got the newspaper trying to, relinquish this information out to people as efficient as possible.
Well,
and
I compare,
that's just what we do.
I compare this story to the Three Little Pigs. It used to be, and no pun intended, it used to be that when the big bad wolf came, there was a house of straw here. And you could huff and puff, and you could blow the straw house down, and all the pot went with it. And there was a big folly that went on afterwards. But guess what? We've grown up to sticks and now to bricks. And so come and huff and puff, but the masses say you're not going to blow this brick house down.
That's right. And we're not gonna lose as long as we stick together. Know what our true goals are, and that's patients' rights, patients' freedom, human rights, general basic rights that allow you to grow a herb that is more beneficial than any pharmaceutical drug currently being offered, something that can change the obesity problem we have in the United States, something that can change the famine problem.
Hey, wait a minute, obesity? You guys are standing by all the bake shops and the pot shops, and you're talking about obesity?
Yeah. No, for very severe cases, the hemp flour, the hemp seeds,
the
complete source
I'm
of
just joking.
Yeah. So, we take this very serious. This isn't a game to us. We're not out here just collecting advertisement dollars and trying to have a good time. This is something that we believe in passionately. This is something that we live and die by,
There's so many of us that are doing that right now as we speak.
Yeah.
And so this is why it's ridiculous that the government would fight this on any level. The whole notion is just laughable. It's just laughable. I mean,
keep your laws off our body. That's what we say. Keep your laws off our body.
I say don't tread on me.
You want to make the law. Right, don't tread on me.
That's what I say. Look, keep your treads off my snake.
That's right. Hey, I want to give a big shout out real quick before we have to wrap it up. I want to give a huge shout out to the Lighter Make crew. Today's Mark, one of the main owners of the business. It's his birthday today.
Hey, happy birthday, Mark, from Made Lighters.
Yeah, we're going out on the town right now. We're going to have dinner at the #1 rated restaurant in Amsterdam. And
that's rated. That's RATED, not RAIDED. That's rated.
No, not rated. Rated. Yeah.
It's the #1 rated
we had
restaurant.
Enough of that for a day. So we're going to go splash all around the town. We're going to give away free Made Lighters all night long. And these things, I don't know if you've ever seen one of these Made Lighters, but they are awesome.
They are.
They talk about never losing the lighter again.
It's a magnetic lighter. It snaps to the side of anything metal. If you got a metal belt buckle, you'll never lose your lighter again.
How about put your car keys on it and you throw them on the fridge at night when you take them out of your pocket, so they're in the same place every time you look for them.
Good Lord, I never thought about having a lighter hanging off my car keys.
Yeah, and you never got to have a lighter when you're driving down the road. Not that any of us, smoke medicine and drive.
Ask Mike Posner.
If one needs to light something, then it's right there on the keychain,
So Made Lighters, you can find them. Do they have a website for Made Lighters?
It's lightermate.com. There's an advertisement in the newest issue of The Buzz that just came out, a big review we did for these guys because we loved their product so much. We felt like it was something that would help people with, they're eco-friendly, use tons of recyclable materials all throughout the packaging and manufacturing process. And, lightermate.com.
Coming up on the break.
Get one of these. And they make great Christmas presents.
Hey, they do. They do. Buzz News at buzznews.com. It's Dan. Thanks for coming on the show, Dan. We appreciate you coming on the show today. Happy Thanksgiving to you, buddy.
You guys call me tomorrow about the same time. They'll be doing the award.
We'll get that on tape. We'll get it on the day after Thanksgiving.
Okay, brother. Thank you so much.
We'll talk to you soon. It's the Medical Marijuana Radio Show. Thank you. 810-423-2350, the number to call.
The Medical Marijuana Radio Show and RadioWeedShow.com are trademarks. Copyright 2011.
The Medical Marijuana Radio Network.
The following presentation is controversial and may be offensive to some audiences.
Thanks for clicking on Zeitgeist. I'm Willie Geist. Pot brownies have been a delightful, relaxing treat for decades now, but we've gone all this time without a delicious pot-based beverage to wash those babies down. Granted, a tall, cool glass of pot milk would go best with a plate of fresh-out-of-the-oven pot brownies, but the dairy community just isn't there yet from an R&D point of view. What we do have now, though, is pot cola. Medicinal pot cola. It's all about the healing, after all. This stuff is called Canaca, and it combines the two delicious tastes of soda and THC, which is the psychoactive ingredient found in marijuana. The drink comes in a 12-ounce can, and it's going to go for $10-12, something like that, when it hits the shelves. Described by its creators as edible medicine, the cola will be available only to these weary souls who require medical marijuana for any variety of imagined ailments. People with medical marijuana cards in Colorado will get the first taste of Canaca next month in any of its 5 flavors.
Doc Weed, which is a Dr. Pepper type, kind of that cherry cola. Canaca, our flagship brand, which is going to be your classic cola flavor. You have to have a medical marijuana card, and you have to go to the dispensary, and you have to get a doctor's prescription.
I want that guy making the stuff I put in my body. As a public service, we would remind our viewers to drink Canaca in moderation. If you slam a 6-pack of the stuff on a Friday night, you just might end up like the Michigan cop who got so blazed not long ago that he called 911 because he thought he was dying.
I think I'm having an overdose of this, so is my wife.
Overdose of what?
Marijuana. I don't know if it had something in it. Can you please send rescue?
Did you guys have fever or anything?
No, I think we're dying.
Okay, how much did you guys have?
I don't know. We made brownies, and I think we're dead. Time is going by really, 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 really slow.
Well, instead of being charged, Prilla. Sorry. Instead of being charged, the police department let the officer resign. His wife was not charged either. So far, police officials have not commented on the case.
I think we're dead. Look, I know you're 22 and you've miraculously developed arthritis, but just sip the weed drink responsibly, won't you? That could be you on the other end of that 911 call. No. That's Zeitgeist for today. No. I'll be back here soon with much more of the news you cannot hear.
It would be.
Countdown to launch. The Medical Marijuana
Commit.
Radio Show.
Guidance is internal. Ignition sequence start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. Power cleared.
The Medical Marijuana Radio Show is a production of the Medical Marijuana Radio Network.
You tuned in to that Medical Marijuana Show. 855-MMM Radio. Keep it legal. Keep it legal. Keep it legal. Keep it legal. You tuned in to that Medical Marijuana Show. 855-MMM Radio.
Folks, Denise ain't here. It's a special program. It's a special edition of the Medical Marijuana Radio Show live on the internet.
Okay, Steve is the host with the co-host Denise. Starting at noon Saturdays every week. Yes, we keepin' you legal. Legislators and lawyers, doctors and the growers. The show is for the people. Michigan medical marijuana, no hassle. We talk about anything, any issue we can handle. Call us up and let us know what is on your mind. And make sure when you do it legal every time. You tuned in to that Medical Marijuana Show. 855-MMM Radio.
I am not a crackpot.
Keep it legal. medical marijuana show. 855
I am not a crackpot.
Yeah, keep saying that, Mr. Shooty. Keep saying you're not a crackpot. You're clearly a crackpot. Welcome to the Medical Marijuana Radio Show. It's a special Thanksgiving edition of the show. Happy Thanksgiving, folks. We got so much to be thankful for. So much to be thankful for. I'm Steve Greene. You can join us on the show today, 810-423-2350. If you can get through. There's nobody calling right now. If you can get through, that's okay. I'm going to call Bobby. Calling Robert right now. I couldn't get through on the Planet Green Tree show, last night. It was last night, but if you're listening on Thanksgiving Day, it was the night before last. I couldn't get through. I was on there for 45 minutes while hearing him talk about this subject. What a great show. I think we're going to call Justin. Justin's calling us. I'm not going to call Justin. Hey, Justin. Hello? Oh, I guess we got to answer the phone first. There we go. Hello, Justin.
Hey, Steve, what's going on?
Hey, we're on the show. We're on the air.
Oh, yeah?
Live on the Radidio, except it's not the Radidio. It's your desktop or your, smartphone.
Oh, I see.
So, what can we do for you, fine sir?
Oh, I seen you called yesterday.
Yeah, I called because I was wondering if you were going to come and check out, your meds. Justin, just for people who don't know. Justin's one of my carded patients. I'm a caregiver for Justin. So, I wanted you to come and check out the meds. They're looking pretty fine.
I bet.
That's what I was calling about. And then also I was going to tell you about, what we were doing today, hoping maybe you could call the show and participate. Looks like you didn't get the message, but you did it anyways.
Well, yeah.
So how's the probation going? Are you doing some community service? Are you making the man happy?
Yeah, it's making them a little happy. Some of them,
working for a church, doing some church work?
Yeah, over here in Heartland, working up at the church, helping them out.
Feeding some homeless people, making some food and such?
Yeah, I went and did that a couple weeks ago. It was pretty cool.
So now, what do they got you doing over there? Scrubbing floors and polishing stuff? What do they do at the church?
Yeah, pretty much. Just sweeping up, cleaning the library when AA goes there, stuff like that.
Wow.
They seem to they go there twice a week.
Boring stuff, but it's got to be done. You're gonna get off. You're gonna get your probation shortened by this. Hopefully, maybe get the community service out of the way. Get out of there.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do right now.
That's the game plan.
Yeah, for sure.
So, I keep railing you on the show every day on the show. I'm like, Justin, where are you? Everybody, people probably don't know what I'm talking about. Like, yeah, Justin, where are you, Justin?
Who's Justin?
Right. This is Justin. Justin was gonna, kind of be a sidekick on the show here, and then he decided he better get the probation stuff out of the way first.
Yeah, getting that probation out of the way is pretty crucial. I don't want to have to.
It's a rough gig doing the probation. Going and answering to the man every day. Whatever.
Right. Doing their
what do they make you call a telephone number every morning or in the wee hours of the morning and, find out if you got to go give them some pee or not?
Oh, yeah, after 4:30 a.m. every morning I call. See if I got to go give them an alcohol test. See if I've been drinking or not.
You know what? I just, for some reason, the belligerent side of me wants to, when somebody says, hey, we need some urine. I just want to show up with a giant tanker truck full of urine and just let the thing go. Oh, you need you need a sample? You didn't say how big the sample needed to be. I saved this up for you.
I'll fill somebody else's up, too.
Gives a new meaning to the word trickle-down theory.
For real.
I can imagine, the attorney general going, what's the tanker truck doing outside and why does it smell? Come on, Bill. You wanted a sample, right? Here you go. Here's a sample.
Yeah, give them a nice sample.
You want to give them the extra stinky stuff after the Vita drink. That's what you want to use.
I wouldn't mind giving him a fresh sample.
A fresh. Give him a streaming sample?
Yeah, streaming one.
Here you go, Billy Bong. Put that in your bong and chortle on it. Sorry, I just Billy Bong makes me mad. I'm expecting his goons to come over and rough me up because I pick on him every day. I'm
like it.
Nah, I don't know. Maybe I'm just a fly on the wall. Maybe I'm just I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell. We got a call. We got a call coming in. Who's this? Let's find out who this is. Hang on a second.
Okay.
Good morning. It's the Medical Marijuana Radio Show. Hello.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving, man, or pre-Thanksgiving.
Hey, happy Thanksgiving to you. Who's this? We're on the air, just incidentally. Just
Yes, sir. It's Max Random in the 420 Punks.
Max Random in the 420 Punks.
Yes, sir.
So, hang on. We got Justin on the line. Mind if we bring Justin on the line with us?
Yeah, not at all, man. More the merrier.
Justin's our card to patient standby. Merging the calls here. Here we go. Justin, it's who is it? Mad Dog what? Mad Dog 420? What is it?
Max Random in the 420 Punks.
Max Random in the 420 Punks, Justin. Just introduced just now. Hello?
Hey, how's it going?
Good, man.
So
what's going on out in Michigan?
What's going on out in Michigan? We are rallying against our Attorney General. We're getting ready to have some Thanksgiving turkey and give thanks for all the great stuff that's happened in the medical marijuana field, in the community here at large. The great stuff is we've gotten politically organized. We're shoulder to shoulder. We've got a single homogenous voice, and we're fighting back against the man. That's what we're doing.
Sweet, man. Well, more power to you, dude. I've been involved for like 29 years now.
Really?
So, more power. Yeah, I have a rare lung problem, and none of the asthma medicines have ever helped me. And when I was a teenager, I would smoke up and party with my friends. And because it was the Reagan era back then,
right.
We were all the egg frying in the pan if you're smoking pot.
Oh, yeah. This is your brain. This is your brain on drugs, that old campaign.
Yeah, so the one thing I noticed, though, was I could breathe for like 2-3 days after smoking. And I'd always, you know what I mean? Like I felt guilty and weird about it because of the brainwashing.
Now, what state, what state are you in?
Pennsylvania.
You're in Pennsylvania, okay.
Yeah, so what I did was I took the asthma measurer. I have this special thing. It measures how many parts per million you're breathing out, and you can tell, what kind of day you're having. So I decided to test it out, because there was nothing available back then.
This is lung capacity. You're measuring lung capacity, right? You blow until the bead rises in the little tube?
Exactly. So I tried it out before I smoked, and I was having a tough day breathing, and it's like a labored breathing thing. And, I breathed out, and the normal person's like 400. My normal breathing is like 175, 180 on a bad day. And the asthma medicines give you like 15% increased capacity, but you get all the side effects of the shakes, and you get real sick for a while. It speeds up your heart. Steroids, they're all steroids.
Right.
So with the smoking, I can breathe out about 250 within so many minutes of smoking. But the one thing, and for years, I tell everybody, like I smoke very lightly for that effect. It feels good, don't get me wrong. But everybody looked, for years, they were like, get out of here, before the internet, nobody had any info. So they'd be like, you just like getting high. And I'm like, whatever you want to believe.
Oh, you're just a stoner hiding behind it. You're like the guy saying it's my medicinal alcohol.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So for years and years, right, they didn't have info back then. So I started going to Amsterdam. My first trip was in '89. And culminated the highlight of everything that I've done, the highlight of it, 95 Cannabis Cup, go there and get invited to work with High Times as a public relations. And I get to meet Jack Herr, get invited to the VIP Cannabis
God rest his soul, Jack Herr.
Yeah. Yeah, what a great, humble guy,
Yeah.
2,000 people there, and he would take the time to hang out with you.
Listen,
really cool, but
listen, hang on. We're going to have to put the story on hold. We're coming up on a commercial break. We don't want to lose you. Justin, can you hang on a second, Justin? Are we using up all your mom's minutes there?
I can stay on.
You can stay on. All right. So hang on through the commercial break, guys. It's going to be just a couple of minutes. We'll be right back on RadioWeedshow.com with the Medical Marijuana Radio Show. Folks, don't go away.
Yo, Justin.
Got something to say?
Call now toll free. 855-MMM-radio. The Medical Marijuana Radio Network.
If you are a carded Michigan medical marijuana patient with a need for safe access but have reservations about privacy and discretion, there is an answer. It's the Ant Farm. The Ant Farm is Metro Detroit's trusted professional mobile transfer service. Write this toll-free number down, 888-369-3320. Lab-tested, mold and pesticide-free. It's the Ant Farm's convenient you'll try, but quality standards, privacy, and friendly professionals that will bring you back. The Ant Farm comes to you. Call for discreet details right away. 888-369-3320. The patient's place for medical marijuana and safe access is Third Coast. Beautiful downtown Ypsilanti is where you can get safe, affordable access to education and materials concerning your specific needs, and quality products designed to meet your exacting needs. It's the Third Coast, 19 North Hamilton in Ypsilanti. Convenient hours, friendly, professional, compassionate. Call Third Coast today, 734-487-5402. That's the Third Coast Compassion Center in downtown Ypsilanti, 734-487-5402.
The Greene Collective.
Hey, medical marijuana patients, it's time to discover what all the buzz is about in Ann Arbor.
The Greene Collective.
The Green Bee Collective is busy making sure your patient needs are met with high-quality, locally grown meds.
The Greene Bee Collective.
Get to know the information, the research, the benefit available to your condition.
The Greene Bee Collective.
Weekly specials in just minutes from downtown Ann Arbor and I-94.
The Greene Bee Collective.
The details are sweet at mmmgreenbee.com. Call 734-929-2553 now. Hey, Steve Greene here for the medical marijuana certifications at AMMP. They're the American Medical Marijuana Professionals. You'll find them just north of Utica Road on Gratiot in Roseville. Their address is 28349. Now, call-ins are welcome, but you're better off calling for an appointment. They have a toll-free number, 877-RX-420-99. That's 877-RX-420-99 for American Medical Marijuana Professionals. That's AMMP on Gratiot in Roseville. The law offices of Targowski and Grow remind you to stand up for your rights. Always treat law enforcement with respect, but if you're detained or arrested, stand up for your rights by repeating, I respectfully invoke all of my legal and constitutional rights. I do not consent to any search or seizure. I want to remain silent, and I want to talk to my attorneys, John Targowski and Daniel Grow. Targowski and Grow have the education and experience you need to be successful in Michigan courts. Call Targowski and Grow toll-free, 800-957-1069. The law offices of Targowski and Grow, 800-957-1069. Welcome back to the Medical Marijuana Radio Show, live in Detroit. I'm Steve Greene. With me on the phone today, carded patient Justin and the 420 Punks. What's your name, Chief? I'm bad with names. What's your name again?
That's cool, man. Max Random. Max. I'm bad with names, too.
Max Random with the 4. It's a guy thing. Max Random with the 420punks.com. Is it 420punks.com? Is that how it's? Because I looked, I couldn't find it.
Yeah. 420punk, singular.com.
Oh, 420punk.
Yeah.
I got you.
Me. Years ago, I came up with that as a way to qualify myself without saying I'm a stoner.
Well, yeah, everybody hides behind the 420 man moniker.
Yeah, well, you know what I got tired of doing? Like, I go out and, dude, I got like a brain and all kinds of interests and stuff, and people would shut me down with, oh, you're a druggie. Like, you know, so I gave up on that. And I decided when I go out to parties that I was going to throw out there, I'm a 420 punk. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you're not going to shut me out of the night, you know?
Hey, it makes sense. Look, you got some songs and some stuff up there? What's on the website we can enjoy?
I got a CD that just came out in August. I've only been performing since July, and it's from the heart, man. All my stuff's from the heart. We play acoustic, and we play to crowds, and we advertise it's the 420 Punk Show to draw them out. But the songs are really from somebody who's been partying and smoking and traveling and in the movement for 30 years.
Okay, so now I see that on your website here, because I'm looking at it on screen.
Yeah.
Is there can I play one of these songs? Maybe we can play. I mean, I don't know. I'm just...
Oh yeah, dude, totally down. I would highly recommend a song to introduce me. It's a biography song. It's called My Addictions.
Yeah, I see. That's the title cut, or that's the number one cut.
Yeah, it's everybody throwing in that because I've smoked pot for years that I'm addicted to it, and I gave a lot of thought to that, and I wrote this song called My Addictions, based on what the definition of addiction is: uncontrollable impulse.
What's your favorite song out of all of these tunes? Now, are you performing all these songs? Is that the deal?
Yeah, they're all me. The 420 Punks are random musicians that sit in with me. And usually just people that are friends of mine. And we have a couple things going on. It's a visual. It's You know, it's kind of unique.
It's a whole it's a whole multimedia thing, or is it a whole stage play thing going on there? It's more than just a song.
Yeah, it's more than just the songs. We do a stand-up in between the songs, and we also do a crowd sing-along, and it's just a feel-good, good time night.
You want to drop a little? Go ahead, Justin. Say something.
I was going to say, is it more of a punk rock show, or?
No, we've adapted everything to acoustic. So we want to be able to play anywhere. And here's the highlight of my show. I mean, the grand finale. I'm the first person ever, and I've researched this, and I say this very, very proudly, to build an acoustic hookah guitar that I have an alien smoke out of while I sing my song UFOs, with the Donnie Darko Bunny Frank lighting the bowl. And I got to tell you, it fucking kills.
Oh, wait! Watch it. Watch the F-bombs. We are on the internet, but
I'm sorry, man.
That's okay.
Totally sorry.
That's okay. We try and keep a modicum of respect.
Yeah, and I get you, but I get all excited about the show. You know.
Yeah, that's okay. Excitement is cool. The F-bombs are not so cool.
Yeah, no, I won't hit that again. Sorry.
That's okay.
The other thing with the show that's so much fun is we've had bars be able to sing along. We do Cypress Hill hits from the bong.
I like that song. Hits from the bong. That's a great song.
Yeah. Well, we rewrote it as if Gene Autry did it, the 1940s cowboy. And I got to tell you, man, there's something liberating about having a bar full of people, 100 people sing that with you.
Singing hits from the bong in country music style?
Yeah. Honest to God, it's the craziest thing ever. And our show, we've only been playing a couple months, man, but every time we play out, we rock the place.
You know what's funny about that? Because you say you do comedy, right?
Yeah.
So part of comedy is turning something on its head. That's what's it's a different perspective, right?
Exactly.
So sometimes the unexpected is what's funny, and so hits from the bong, country cowboy style, is funny because you just don't expect it.
Exactly.
I think anytime you take something and turn it on its head, this is what we do in the world of comedy. Now, I don't delve into comedy because I'm likely to be the guy that tries to tell a joke and it's gonna lay there like a dead fart. Seriously, I mean, I'm funny on my own just because I'm funny. I'm funny looking, I'm funny sounding, I'm just funny. But people, I don't know. Don't ever come watch me bowl because that's hilarious.
So you're a natural comedian.
I'm just uncoordinated. Yeah, I'm just laughable on its face. But when you take comedy material, there's a recipe for comedy. There really is, and it's hard to latch onto. But it's cool that you do it in this. There's a guy that I'm working with. Actually, you ever done the payday loan thing where you go down and get a payday loan? No. Well, they have like a check and go kind of thing around here. There's a bunch of different services.
Oh, okay.
You can go down and get a loan based on your income. So it's kind of they don't run you through no credit checks. They just see that you got some income. They see that you got a checking account. You can write a check to them. They'll hold on to it until you get paid, and then you pay them a fee for it. So there's a guy that I have to come in and deal with to roll this over every week because they get you hooked into that and then you never get out because now all of a sudden you got to do without a paycheck. I
remember things like that in the 50s. They were run by guys named Vito.
Yeah, it is a little loan sharking. There's no question. But there's rules and regs set up for it here in Michigan. Anyways, I got to go down and deal with this guy, once a month. And so the guy behind the counter does comedy. He does stand-up. And so every once in a while I'll sit and yak with him about stand-up. And he tries to sailed me a joke. What did he do? Oh, he was saying he was farting around with a joke about Bill Schuette. He said something about this was the best thing he came up with, I think, so far. The joke had something to do with they came out with a new strain, and it was you have to understand. You're from Pennsylvania, so you don't understand who our Attorney General is. His name is Bill Schuette, and he's been really rallying against us. He's really been locking down he's been throwing the gauntlet down, and so he's a good target for comedy. So he was saying that there's a new strain came out. It's called Schuette, but the only problem is that nobody will buy it because when you smoke it. You don't get stoned. You just feel like you got stabbed in the back. You get, so that was the best thing he came up with. But
that's pretty good.
You know, it's funny stuff. He had another one too. I won't delve into his material, but I think that comedy's fun. Well, obviously, I have a keen sense of the obvious. Comedy's it's good to mix into the show, and so I seek out comedians. I reach out to the local comedy clubs all the time. It seems like it's a closed door. It's hard to get a hold of the comedy guys.
Well,
so lay us a good.
I did stand up. I did stand up for a year, and just straight up stand up, no guitar, and I didn't like the pressure it put the audience under.
Yeah, it is weird.
Any sense. Yeah, and it's a weird thing. You can get 300 people drunk and partying in a headlining club and put up a weak comedian and get laughs. But go to an open mic comedy night where people are passing by and they're just there and they're not really into it. And unfortunately, the young comics, that's what they go through.
Oh, yeah.
It's like it's a weak crowd and they got weak material and it drives a lot of people out of it. I did really well, but I didn't like the rhythm of this forced rhythm.
Right.
And they really do force a rhythm. You have to do two setups and a punch like every 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And it's really forced and fake, and people know it's fake. So I took a step back, and I took 2 years to learn the guitar so I could do this. Like, I have a vision of this whole show, and it's 3 hours long. It's not like I go up and do 40 minutes and good night, you know?
They're going to do a show on Broadway, it sounds like.
Well, it's kind of building to this crazy. I want it to be kind of a crazy travel and circus of things.
What a great thing!
I'll tell you what, it's original, and I make sure it's original. If you know what I mean?
Well, throw us a punchline. Give us a setup and a punch. I don't know. You got anything?
It's not so much that as much as I do it kind of spontaneously. It's not like it's not written.
Right. There's a little improv involved, is what you're saying.
There's a lot of improv involved, but I partied a long time. So it's kind of stuff that I've just used to parties my whole life for fun, and I throw it when I feel like it. It's perfect, and I have pretty good timing with it, but you never know when it's coming or what's coming. But you're not forced into a stand-up set.
Okay, I'll give you my own setup and punch. Okay, here we go. Rolling up the sleeves. This is just for, it doesn't sound like it's a medical marijuana joke when you set up the joke, but it is. I tried this out on a group of people at the September 7th rally on the Capitol steps in Lansing. And when I started telling the joke, the setup for the joke, they just kept walking by. But then when I told the punchline, they all turned around and laughed.
That's good.
So here it is. What's the difference between oral sex and a Corvette? Bill Schuette's not giving me a Corvette.
See, those are good, man. This Bill Schuette character sounds like a character.
The guy's a pompous jackass. He's our attorney general, and I've always had respect for our state, government people, law enforcement and the like. I've always, been very respectful of them. I've had no issues with them up until I became a patient, and then they wanted to aim their targets at me, and I'm like, hey, wait a minute, I'm not the mouse getting caught in your trap. And then Bill Schuette, he's just been a great target.
I'll tell you the truth. I really don't think it comes down to the personality of someone like that. I feel like it's the old follow the money trail. I think if you're really analyze the voice.
Look, you're singing to the choir. People who listen to this show understand. This is a repeating theme. I say, don't take your eye off the money. This is all about control of money. This simply comes down to control of money and who can have it and who can't. That's all this is.
Exactly. So when you get a guy that's really trumpeting that this is bad to have sick people feel better and not like spend their entire life savings on medical, I really look behind it and I wonder what corporations are paying for that message to come out.
I can tell you. We already know the answer to that question here. Billy Bong, our attorney general, he used to smoke pot in college. That's why I call him Billy Bong. He's a big pot smoker. And so apparently, because he's like, marijuana's a gateway drug. Yeah, it's a gateway drug to the attorney general's office, you jackass. It's a gateway drug. Good. It's a gateway drug to becoming a congressman. It's a gateway drug to becoming an appeals court judge. He's held all of those titles. Yet now that he's up there.
The president did okay.
Here's the thing. Yeah, right. All of them have done really well. Did you see the big giant bag of crack? That one that President Bush back in the day, the first President Bush, he held a big news conference. And he held up the biggest bag of crack I've ever seen anybody hold. He's like, we had Secret Service agents buy this in the park across the way moments ago. I'm like, are you serious? But anyway, yeah, it's all a farce. And Billy Bong. The reason that Billy Bong rails against this is because he's connected. He's one of the heirs to the Dow, Midland Dow chemical fortune. Every time you see the Dow scrubbing bubbles, that's Billy Bong. That's he's going to be heir to all that money. And so he's got big interests in pharmaceutical companies. And, look, these companies, these corporations don't want to compete with this plant because it provides so many, things. It's really a wonder plant. It sounds like a stoner making crazy claims, but it's look at it. Just examine it for a minute.
Well, the internet keeps it from being shut out. In the last 15 years of people been able to run a Google search and find Israel's experiments and Holland and all the different countries that have been open-minded, they see the results. They see the figures. They see it killing cancer cells, and they see it online now. So the more and more people that actually investigate it and don't listen to the puppets, we're getting further and further with public recognition.
I feel like we're leaving Justin out of this conversation. Are you still there, Justin?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man.
I
wanted to add
Go ahead.
something to that. We've done our own research. It's just our government's denied all of our research.
Yeah, well, you're right. I mean, the government, on a routine basis, if you want to do experimentation involving anything with cannabis or even hemp, hemp's not even a usable drug. It's just a plant that people use for textiles and such. But
right. So if you're a chemical company that produces plastic, what do? You rally against your competitor that costs nothing to produce and it's a way bebetter product and healthy for the environment. So
I think I went over this the other day with people. Do I still have the list? I do. I mean, these are just, in the past, I'll read this to you. Mother Jones Magazine published last year an article detailing Capitol Hill's top 75 corporate sponsors based on their campaign contributions and lobbying expenditures in Washington, D.C. And these are all people who are rallying against medical marijuana. These are the people who are spending their lobbying money. Just listen to the list. I mean, I'll skip over it because it's amazing, the banking connections. The guys that run banks don't want this either. But Big Pharma and Healthcare. Number 6, the number 6 spender in the past 10 years, American Medical Association. What does that tell you? Number 20, Pfizer. Number 25, Blue Cross Blue Shield. Number 27, American Hospital Association. Number 31, get this one, Aflac. Number 45, GlaxoSmithKline. Number 62, American Healthcare Association. Number 66, Eli Lilly. Number 74, Bristol Myers Squibb. These are all guys that are, that's just the top of the, tip of the iceberg there. I could go on for hours.
Think about something with the medical community. They don't want cures, but a maintenance drug is a winner. Something you'll take for the rest of your life and be tied to them financially. Like, my parents are in their 80s. Their medical maintenance drugs is $15,000 to $20,000 a year.
No, it's nothing compared to
pocket.
nothing compared to the HIV meds I take. I'll tell you that.
I can imagine.
It's just awful. I mean, some of those, a bottle of those medications will cost you in excess of $1,000. Just one. I take 3, and many people take 5 or 7.
Right. So to keep that in mind, right, the medical community supports anything that causes long-term health problems, but they rally against smoking cannabis.
Well, it's because we don't have a healthcare system in this country. Healthcare attacks health problems from preventive. You prevent issues. Right. It's the same. This is why you maintain your car. You don't want the engine to blow up and then repair the engine. That's expensive. What do? You change the oil and you maintain it so the engine lasts. And we don't. In this country, we wait until the engine explodes and then we want everybody to pay for the engine that's blown up. So the guys that make money off of pharmaceuticals don't want to create and sell drugs that cure illnesses. They want to sell and create drugs and get them in the revenue stream that are maintenance drugs. These are drugs that you have to take and regularly take. And many of them, if you'll notice, you can't stop taking them without the assistance of a doctor. If you stop taking these drugs, you can put your life at risk.
I'll tell you a scary story. I played a benefit for medicinal. And, I'm 420 punks, and we're having a ball, and we're singing about it. And And afterwards, I had somebody pull me aside. It was a woman in her 50s, and she told me that she worked for Merck as a scientist development with medicine.
Right.
She was a scientist. And she said they developed a stage 4 cancer drug for throat cancer. It was a pill you took twice a day.
Wow.
And she said that they did it on stage 4, which is you're out of luck.
Right.
Stage 4.
Right. That's
And
end stage. That's when you're pretty much count your ticker.
She had 73% success rate in no signs of cancer after 4 weeks of taking the pill, right?
Right.
And that was 4 years ago, and she said they buried it and they won't release it. And she said it sickens her because if she found that one, she knows they found 20 others.
Wait a minute. They buried it. You mean the study? They buried the study?
They buried the drug. They won't get it approved or released or talk about it, and she's barred from talking publicly, and that's her career as a scientist wherever she goes. Now,
wait a minute. Now you're just making my blood boil. Big pharmaceutical companies.
Yeah. But listen to this. She followed it up with this. She said, but our cocktail, we have one of the AIDS drugs in the cocktail.
Right.
And she said that one got shoved through so fast because it'll never cure you.
Right.
It'll keep you on it for the rest of your life.
That's
and
right.
That's what they're making. They're not making cures. They're making shit that you're going to be attached to them financially for the rest of your life. That's a customer they want to keep.
Don't take your eye off the money pie. Remember what I said? That's the underlying theme of this show. It's the stitch that ties all of our shows together. Don't take your eye off the pot pie. This is the money pie.
So it's one of those things where, you know what I mean? Like, I had no reason to doubt her whatsoever, and it was like an Occupy thing that I was down at.
Right.
And she just heard my stance on everything, and I said, I know, you know what I mean? They'll never, ever back it. They'll spend $100 million against it because they can't compete with it. You could just, if tomatoes made you better, we wouldn't be able to grow tomatoes, trust me.
Good Lord. It's Max Random from the 420 Punk. It's Max Random and the 420 Punks, or is it just Max Random is the 420 Punk?
I'm the 420 Punk. When we play out, all the guys that join me on stage are the 420 Punks.
Look, Justin,
That's
Max,
how
we're
we
going to
play.
break. We got to go to break. We'll be right back on the Medical Marijuana Radio Show, RadioWeedShow.com. Happy Thanksgiving.
You got it.
We'll be right back on the Medical Marijuana Radio Show. The Medical Marijuana Radio Network.
The Greene Collective.
Hey, medical marijuana patients, it's time to discover what all the buzz is about in Ann Arbor.
The Greene Collective.
The Green Bee Collective is busy making sure your patient needs are met with high-quality, locally grown meds.
The Greene Collective.
Get to know the information, the research, the benefit available to your condition.
The Greene Collective.
Weekly specials in just minutes from downtown Ann Arbor and I-94.
The Greene Collective.
The details are sweet at mmmgreenbee.com. Call 734-929-2553 now. If you are a carded Michigan medical marijuana patient with a need for safe access but have reservations about privacy and discretion, there is an answer. It's the Ant Farm. The Ant Farm is Metro Detroit's trusted professional mobile transfer service. Write this toll-free number down, 888-369-3320. Lab-tested, mold and pesticide-free. It's the Ant Farm's convenience you'll try, but quality standards, privacy, and friendly professionals that will bring you back. The Ant Farm comes to you. Call for discreet details right away. 888-369-3320. Hey, Steve Greene here for the medical marijuana certifications at AMMP. They're the American Medical Marijuana Professionals. You'll find them just north of Utica Road on Gratiot in Roseville. Their address is 28349. Now, call-ins are welcome, but you're better off calling for an appointment. They have a toll-free number, 877-RX-420-99. That's 877-RX-420-99 for American Medical Marijuana Professionals. That's AMMP on Gratiot in Roseville. The patient's place for medical marijuana and safe access is Third Coast. Beautiful downtown Ypsilanti is where you can get safe, affordable access to education and materials concerning your specific needs, and quality products designed to meet your exacting needs. It's the Third Coast, 19 North Hamilton in Ypsilanti. Convenient hours, friendly, professional, compassionate. Call Third Coast today, 734-487-5402. That's the Third Coast Compassion Center in downtown Ypsilanti, 734-487-5402. The law offices of Targowski and Grow remind you to stand up for your rights. Always treat law enforcement with respect, but if you're detained or arrested, stand up for your rights by repeating, I respectfully invoke all of my legal and constitutional rights. I do not consent to any search or seizure. I want to remain silent, and I want to talk to my attorneys, John Targowski and Daniel Grow. Targowski and Grow have the education and experience you need to be successful in Michigan courts. Call Targowski and Grow toll-free, 800-957-1069. The law offices of Targowski and Grow, 800-957-1069.
It's the Medical Marijuana Radio Show.
I mean, come on, folks. Does this sound like a conservative Republican to you? Or a crackpot? I'm voting crackpot. I say crackpot. He's not a conservative Republican. He's okay, maybe he is a conservative Republican. He's still a crackpot, if you ask me. Steve Greene is the Medical Marijuana Radio Show. Thanks for joining us. Happy Thanksgiving to you, folks. With us on the phone is, it's Max. It's Max to the Max to defeat the 420 Punk. Hello, Max.
Hey, how's it going out there? I'm glad to be with you today.
Hey, I'm glad you're with us. Can you hear when I play stuff on the radio, can you hear it? Because I don't think you can. You can just hear me, can't you? Yeah,
I can just hear you.
You don't get to hear all the fun stuff that happens in the background. I hope you get a chance to hear the show later on.
Yeah, no, definitely, man. And I want to get a taping of the show so I can hear the whole thing together.
Look, just for the people who don't know, you can find this show on radioweedshow.com. There's a little box on the front there. I don't know where you're listening to us otherwise, but you can hear us on Ustream. You can get us on YouTube. It's at radioweedshow.com. And then we stream this show on a daily basis. We do the show live, and then it repeats afterwards. It just loops the rest of the day. So this show's going to loop throughout Thanksgiving because I'm not giving up the turkey to do the show. It's not going to happen. Go ahead.
Can I plug something?
Sure, plug away.
On Facebook is where I organize my show with fans and sign up fans. It's Max Random. And make sure you sign up. The only way I can get the tour next year is to get a whole bunch of people, 420 people that are down, because no corporation's ever going to sponsor me. There's no way whatsoever. I'm campaigning for medical. So
you know who you got to hook up with is the guys at the Cannabis Cup guys. I don't see why you couldn't. These guys when they do the Cannabis Cup thing. When they did the one in Detroit, Rob Cantrell. Do you know Rob Cantrell? He's a comedian.
I don't know Rob, but I'm totally interested, and that's my biggest goal of all is to get to play at Cannabis Cup. But my stuff's totally geared just for that crowd, So
I'll make an introduction to you. I'll give you Mike's number, Dan Sky over there. I've got some connects. So what I'll do is I'll pass you on to them. Danny Danko and all those guys over there.
That'd be great.
Those guys are good guys, and they're personable. So let me see if I can't get a hold of them, and I'll pass some info about your shtick. And then, when they come to Detroit here, maybe we can just ship you up from Pennsylvania next year. I believe they're going to do the Cannabis Cup in October again next year.
Dude, I'm so there. Like, so there.
I can't do the inviting for you. They'd have to do the formal invite. But I think
no.
I think they would.
Yeah, I would.
They would be down with it. I think if you got a good show, if you got a good stage show, I don't see why they would say no.
Awesome. Well, I'll let your fans and everybody be the judge of that with the music and see if they catch the vibe I'm spreading out there.
So we're going to give you a preview of Mad Max. Can I call you Mad Max, Max?
Sure.
We'll give you a preview of Mad Max in a little while. We'll play a song from him. Would you want us to play the Addiction song, or is there another? Is there something?
I'll tell you what. I wrote a song out there that's a big hit when I played out in the bar, and it stops everybody from drinking, and they pay attention to me from there on out throughout the night. There's a song called "Something You Should Know," and I wrote it for a really hot girl that I met, and I called her up and told her that I wrote this really cool song just for her. And then I played it for her, and that's the intro to Something You Should Know.
Now this I'm just trying to, because I can only play one song here, and I've got the list. You can find this stuff at 420punk.com,
yes,
and you could play any of those songs. But I'm going to play one for you here today. I'm just trying to make sure, because I haven't heard any of them. But
yeah, and you know what? Just to be safe, play My Addictions. Just to be safe, play My Addictions.
Well, I don't know.
It's crazy.
Well, I don't mind crazy stuff. I try to keep, see, here's the thing. We put this show up on iTunes, and I got to tell people whether or not the show's explicit.
Yeah, and some of my songs do have the occasional explicit lyric in it. They're not to beat you over the head with, but they're, you know, appropriate for where I'm using them.
Well,
but that's why I say my addiction's safe.
Yeah, okay. But something you should know might, you know, I don't know.
You got to hear that one and share it another time. Anytime you can play any of my songs you want.
That's awesome. That'll be great. You know, I gotta share something else with you. I mean, my buddy Alec Draven is his name. Al's a radio buddy of mine. And I haven't talked to him for a while. He was on this show on 1310 a.m. Detroit's Progressive Talk WDTW on our weekend show. We had him on one day. He decided to come and do news, and then he disappeared. Maybe he didn't, you know, maybe it wasn't quite right for him. But he's a good guy, though. He's a great show host. Yeah. And Al posted a picture, and he posted it up on the Facebook. I'm just gonna pull it up because I gotta read. It's so funny. It's the funniest. It's one of the funniest things I've read in a long time. I don't know why. I think it's hilarious. Again, I suppose it's probably a guy thing or something. But okay, I'm just gonna see if I can find it. First, I gotta find the post. Okay, I think the picture's here. Hang on, I'll just pull the picture up in my pictures file. Okay, I labeled it "Wow," and you'll understand why I called it "Wow." I've got to put this somewhere on RadioWeedShow.com. It's not medical marijuana related, but good God, what are they teaching the guys at the University of Oregon? So somebody.
Oh, I've seen that. That's about the shower, right?
Yes, it's the masturbation notice. Is that the? I posted it on, you know, the Smoke Something to Talk Some Mad Crap or something. I posted it in some of those forums.
Dude, I saw that. That's crazy.
Here it says masturbation notice. This is somebody took a picture of this sign on the restroom door or the bathroom door inside the dorms at the University of Oregon. So it says masturbation notice in big bold underlined letters. Masturbation in the showers is a violation of the University of Oregon housing code. Really? How are they enforcing that code? I wonder. I'm just saying. So the shower says the shower drains are not designed to handle semen. The excessive amounts of semen in the drains cost thousands of dollars in maintenance and must be reflected in housing price increases for next term. Please respect others and do not clog the drains. Please see your RA with any questions. Thank you for your cooperation.
You know, it's too bad they don't have do they have a phone number on there for the RA?
No, they don't. They don't have a phone number for the RA. What happened? Did I lose my headphones? I think I just... I've just lost them. Hang on, I got to switch headphones.
Okay.
We have emergency backup headphones for this very... You know, I use cordless headphones. Hang
on. Oh, hey, I will tell you, I'm planning on partying tonight after I open up the show.
Hold on, I can't hear you. Okay, now I can hear you. Okay. There we go. I got the backup headphones on now.
I got really lucky playing my show. A band came in for a drink just to come in and get paid for playing there. And they came in for 10 minutes, they told me, and they stayed for 2.5 hours of my show and invited me to open up for them tonight so their fans could get a taste of an hour's worth of Max Random before they go on and play. And they're like, dude, we love your stuff. Can you play? And I was like, yeah, I'll play anywhere, man. I enjoy what I'm doing, and that's all I want to do, you know? So I'm getting to play tonight. So I happened to see your post because I was catching up on invites and stuff for tonight's show. And I saw your radio show going, and that's why I had called in. So it's kind of neat, you know?
Hey, I just noticed Smokey Kush. Smokey Kush does a 420 radio show.
Oh, yeah. I've been on his show, by the way.
Have you? He's got a good show. He posted a blog. He posted on my Facebook. He posted a sign that says the 420 Radio Show, the Hidden Stash Show with Smokey Kush. And he put my logo up, and he's got Neil Rockine's picture on there. So it looks like, you know... says,
I won't lie. That's how I found you guys. Smokey's a really good dude, man. And he's got that down-to-earth, you know, guy next door, guy you partied with or hung out with kind of vibe. And, and that's kind of my thing is it's real people. It's not bullshit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Oh, totally. I totally get you. Look, I come from BS radio. You know, I mean, I'm a radio guy. So, you know, and so much of radio is BS. You know, right down to the stereotyped voice. Why do you think I got into radio? Everybody pushed me that way. Yeah, you got a radio voice. Really, what is a radio voice?
Yeah, and you know what else? And this is why my show is spontaneous and it's Max Random, because you'll never hear the same set. I don't even sing the words the same, the songs. A lot of them I can. I just can't remember them right. But
how'd that happen?
But when I'm playing, when I'm playing, though, the idea is I'm so tired of the formula being jammed down my throat.
Right.
I can't watch TV anymore.
That's
I don't
pop
like seeing
pop
more
music probably
commercials.
makes you sick too, doesn't it? The pop music
Yeah,
formula.
yeah. And you know what? I'm a huge fan of different comics that talk about truth. And man, the guy's name's going to slip my mind, but he was like an 80s and 90s guy, Bill Hicks. Bill Hicks.
Oh, I know Bill Hicks.
And when I was putting my show together, I make sure that I follow Bill Hicks' recipe. He said, you know, the boy bands, everybody's buying their stuff, and he does a bit, and he says, and he screams into the microphone. He says, God, please, if you're a pop singer, sing from your effing heart.
Right.
Please stop doing this, go through the motions thing.
Right.
So my idea is, and my show is not any of that formula stuff. It's not even, you know, punch, joke kind of thing. It's just natural and fun, and it's hanging out with a bunch of good dudes, and everyone is included in the audience in our show. You're either singing with us or hanging out with us while we drink and party and have a good time. So
That's pretty badass. You're probably only contributing to the show because I posted right before I went on the air and said, "Hey, call us, get on the air." I noticed you posted some stuff here.
Yes, sir. Yeah. I don't mess around, man. I'm out and doing my thing. And the thing is, I really thought it would take me a year of struggling to get my message out, what I'm doing, and I really didn't think people would get me, if you know what I mean.
Oh, totally. Listen,
And
you
luckily-
can't hear the music in the background, but it's the commercial music again. We're getting ready to go to break. I'm sorry
okay.
to do
Knock
this
down.
to you. Can you hang on with us again? Because we're going to play your
Yeah,
song coming up.
I'm enjoying this, man. Your show's real cool.
Stand by. Here we go.
The Medical Marijuana Radio Network.
The law offices of Targowski and Grow remind you to stand up for your rights. Always treat law enforcement with respect, but if you're detained or arrested, stand up for your rights by repeating, "I respectfully invoke all of my legal and constitutional rights. I do not consent to any search or seizure. I want to remain silent, and I want to talk to my attorneys, John Targowski and Daniel Grow." Targowski and Grow have the education and experience you need to be successful in Michigan courts. Call Targowski and Grow toll-free, 800-957-1069. The law offices of Targowski and Grow, 800-957-1069. If you are a carded Michigan medical marijuana patient with a need for safe access but have reservations about privacy and discretion, there is an answer. It's the Ant Farm. The Ant Farm is Metro Detroit's trusted professional mobile transfer service. Write this toll-free number down, 888-369-3320. Lab-tested, mold and pesticide-free. It's the Ant Farm's convenient you'll try, but quality standards, privacy, and friendly professionals that will bring you back. The Ant Farm comes to you. Call for discreet details right away. 888-369-3320. The patient's place for medical marijuana and safe access is Third Coast. Beautiful downtown Ypsilanti is where you can get safe, affordable access to education and materials concerning your specific needs, and quality products designed to meet your exacting needs. It's the Third Coast, 19 North Hamilton in Ypsilanti. Convenient hours, friendly, professional, compassionate. Call Third Coast today, 734-487-5402. That's the Third Coast Compassion Center in downtown Ypsilanti, 734-487-5402. Hey, Steve Greene here for the Medical Marijuana Certifications at AMMP. They're the American Medical Marijuana Professionals. You'll find them just north of Utica Road on Gratiot in Roseville. Their address is 28349. Now, call-ins are welcome, but you're better off calling for an appointment. They have a toll-free number, 877-RX-420-99. That's 877-RX-420-99 for American Medical Marijuana Professionals. That's AMMP on Gratiot in Roseville.
The Greene Bee Collective.
Hey, medical marijuana patients, it's time to discover what all the buzz is about in Ann Arbor.
The Greene Bee Collective.
The Greene Bee Collective is busy making sure your patient needs are met with high-quality, locally grown meds.
The Greene Bee Collective.
Get to know the information, the research, the benefit available to your condition.
The Greene Bee Collective.
Weekly specials in just minutes from downtown Ann Arbor and I-94.
The Greene Bee Collective.
The details are sweet at mmmgreenbee.com. Call 734-929-2553 now.
It's the Medical Marijuana Radio Show.
I try and find some love for my pot. That just ain't enough to go around.
Back on the Medical Marijuana Radio Show. Oh boy, I love this show. How can you not love this show? It's all about pot. It's all about pot. It's all about the medical community. It's all about, putting the right spin, the right face on something that's just been bobbled around and, propaganda is an awful thing. Propaganda is a double-edged sword. You know, it can cause good things to happen. It can cause bad things to happen. With us on the phone, I got to plug Max back in. I unplugged him during the commercial break. Oh, good Lord. I'm half blind. There's a tiny little hole to put that thing in. There, he's back on. Max, hello.
I'm back. Hey there.
So Max is, you know, he's got the website. We've been talking with Max about what he does. We're talking with the 420 Punk. It's Max Random. And you can find him at the 420punk.com, or actually not it's 420punk.com. And we're going to debut some music. Max, we were talking during the break, and now it's kind of escaped my mind. I've kind of stumbled, I bumbled myself up here. What were we talking about during the break? I hate it when that
you're
happens.
kind of lucky because you're heading up something where you're going to meet loads of cool people calling in.
I wanted to answer that. It's like almost like I was doing the show during the commercial break. I shouldn't talk to the guests during the commercial break. It shouldn't be on the air. But we were talking about doing radio shows, and you were talking about the Smokey Kush show and what his introduction to Smokey, and that you were saying that the first radio interview you did after you put out a CD was with Smokey. And Smokey is a great guy. I try and keep all these guys that do internet shows. There's a link on the website called Other Related Shows, and I link to all the ones that I know of locally here anyway. As we find out about them nationally, we'll put them up as well. Look, we don't cover anything up here. But the thing that you said was when you're doing the radio thing, because I've done this for a while, you probably get to meet all kinds of really cool people, because that was your point. Since you started doing this radio stuff and interviewing and talking to people, you get to meet a lot of cool people. And in doing so, I can list just off the top of my, maybe the first 10 items, because there's a bunch. I could go on forever. But the people that I've met doing radio include people like Molly Shannon, include people like who's the Tool Time? Tim. Oh, good Lord, he was the cocaine guy. Yeah, the comedian.
Yeah, yeah. And you know what? I always keep that in the back of my head.
Tim Allen.
Yeah, Tim Allen.
So met Tim Allen. Rob Schneider. Rob is an old Saturday Night Live guy. Rob's also a dick.
Dude,
Rob's a
like
complete
Rob
prick.
Schneider.
He's a prick, though. If you ever meet him in person,
you're kidding.
Oh, he's a real prick, that Rob Schneider.
Dude, doesn't that crush you? Can I tell you who I met? Who was the coolest person I ever met? When I was up with High Times, and I used to work with them doing public relations in the 90s for a couple years. I would just come up for parties and events and stuff, and all I would do is meet people and introduce people. And I'm like the party kind of dude. The coolest guy to meet ever, the guy from Motley Crue, Tommy Lee.
Oh, wait! I got a great story for you. Since you're forgetting out the rock and roller stories.
Yeah. Oh, share, man. You gotta share.
Oh, some of these guys that are famous are just like you and I, except some of them are eccentric. Now, I'm a little eccentric myself. Don't get me wrong. People who are looking at me on camera right now are looking at my, Helen Keller cocaine hands. I look like I'm Helen Keller on cocaine because my hands fly everywhere when I talk. It's just I'm expressive. I'm very animated. So it's one of the things so it makes me a little eccentric. People look at me as kind of eccentric, and so. Some of these characters you meet are very eccentric. Some of them. It seems that when you meet public figures, for some reason, they tend to be eccentric. And I guess when you get famous, it tends to make you more eccentric because you get a skewed view of who you are. You're viewing through the public, rose-colored glasses. It's a little strange. Anyway, Eddie Money. So, Eddie Money does. Have you ever met Eddie Money?
No, love him, though. You know what I mean? Love his music.
2 tickets to paradise. So Eddie Money, he's one of the first. When I first, as a youngster, I remember just being turned on to music as a whole because I was sheltered as a kid. I used to have to listen to country music and twang. That's all I got was a little background bluegrass is all I got. Stay away from the music. It's gonna salt your memory. You're gonna turn into one of those pothead stoners. Guess what happened anyway? The
country music. You were talking about Eddie Money.
No. I got where I'm going. I'm just laughing because I'm telling the story in my head before I tell it. So Eddie Money is the radio station, and we're getting ready. He's doing an interview with one of the guys on the air. Now I'm doing news, and during the commercial, I'm busy working news. I don't even really listen to what's going on the air until I look up at the clock and I see, hey, I got a break to go. I got to do the news. So I got my newscast prepared. I go off to the restroom, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm standing there taking a leak, and the Eddie Money comes in, and he's, "Hey, how's it going?" He goes right back to the the stall, opens up the stall, goes right in, leaves the stall door open, and starts to do his business. And so I'm standing there taking a leak, and Eddie Money's grunting one out, and leans around the open door, and he's like, "Hey, how's it going over there?" So
That's awesome.
Eddie Money's got his pants around his ankles. Oh God, the show's gonna end now. I want to play. Okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do something that's unprecedented. I've never done this before. I'm stopping the show close. There it goes. It's gone. Yeah. So we're gonna because I'm gonna play your song. I said I was gonna do it. Now I'm gonna do it.
Awesome.
So the show closes stopped. Unprecedented. iTunes. You're gonna have to deal with it. It's a little longer than normal. So Eddie Money's got his pants around his ankles. He's stinking up the room, and this is not something that this is my first foray into talking to Eddie Money. He's got turtles poking. That's just bad. And worse yet, he's got the door open and he's sticking his head around the corner with his long hair, going, "Hey, how's it going? I got my wiener in my hands." I mean, way uncomfortable. So
crazy.
Yeah, it was just strange. But we had a strange number one and number two conversation going on there in the men's room. It was just very weird. I mean, my brother wouldn't do that. Why was Eddie Money, for crying out loud? 2 tickets to Paradise. He's dropping a double deuce. There's your 2 tickets. Good God. Anyway.
That's horrible and funny at the same time.
It is. It was. I just never. I don't know. But you do meet some funny people, and you meet some, Carol Channing. I met her once in Cleveland. She was doing a Hello Dolly. Have you ever seen an 80-year-old woman do high heel kicks up on the stage on a thin catwalk, ready to fall into the orchestra pit? Oh my God!
Yeah, that's scary.
And I interviewed her after we got off the air, or after she got off stage. We did a little after party interview, and she comes in with these big big giant glasses on. That cover her eyes, and I felt like I was talking to, I don't know, somebody in a mask, and she's eating these giant strawberries off of a tray. They're chocolate covered strawberries. A big guy comes over with a big tray full of. She's, "Hi honey, how you doing?" And then she takes the glasses off, and then I realized why she wears the glasses, because her eyes were just severe plastic surgery need for poor Carol Channing.
Oh, that's a shame.
But
she had a crazy personality, but that's a shame with the eyes thing.
Well, she always talks like this. She has that strange lisp. It was a great time. Manny Claditis, he was the guy that put this together. He spent all kinds of money on the stage.
Oh, she was a great lady. But there's something about watching somebody. This lady's elderly. This was 15 years ago, but she was like 2 steps from being in a wheelchair. She's up there on a catwalk doing, these high, chorus line kicks and sing "Hello, Dolly." I was just in awe. Just watching any old person do that, let alone somebody that you recognized on from black and white television as a kid.
Yeah, and you know what? You bringing her up reminds me of somebody who I miss, and luckily they put loads of stuff on YouTube. I miss Paul Lynde.
Oh, Paul Lynde! I had great stories about Paul Lynde.
Paul Lynde was awesome. My favorite Paul Lynde was the Hollywood Squares one, and you can find it online, where they put him on the spot, and they're like, "Why do bikers wear leather?" And he looks, and he's like, "Because half of the wrinkles."
Right. And then he's got that crazy Templeton the Rat laugh.
Yeah, I love that dude. He was the funniest guy ever.
Paul Lynde was a gay guy, and he was also an alcoholic, a horrible alcoholic. He died from alcoholism.
No kidding.
Yeah, it's a sad story.
I knew he was gay. He was one of those guys that he was so funny. Like, everything he did was just funny. Like, he had that very sarcastic, dry
It's
humor.
like Rip Torn. They're all over the top. Those old 60s gay guys are just way over the top.
You were saying eccentric? Yeah. I have my dad's toupee. Me and him don't get along, by the way. Don't let it fool you, since I got his scalp. But 15 years ago, I took his toupee off him, and I have it, and I take it with me to my shows, because I always wanted to show him that I'm better than he said I would be.
And you're
so I bring out I carry it with me everywhere. When I work in a corporate office, it sits in a briefcase next to my desk.
That's pretty
and
funny.
We do Rip Taylor impressions with it. We play Rip Taylor right in my office. It's big company too. It's kind of funny. I got a picture with my boss wearing it, doing a Rip Taylor. And my goal with the show is I want to get people to take Polaroids on the iPhone wearing my dad's toupee, so I can put them online under the toupee pictures. It's like a big F you to my dad.
That's so hilarious. It's like this,
it's Rip Taylor. I had to tell you,
it's another version of like when you take when somebody steals your yard gnome and then takes it with them on vacation, takes pictures of it everywhere, and then puts your yard gnome back.
This one's more personal because you know it's my dad. If I put it on my head, it matches my hair perfectly. Right. So if I go shallow that way, I'm already in there. All I need is glue, you know?
Oh, that's hilarious. There was a setup and a punchline I was going to. I forgot what it was. I lost track of the joke. Oh, for crying out loud! I hate it when that happens.
That's right. Hey, I'm glad to get to talk, man. You're like a way cool dude. Like, it's one of those things. I'm looking forward to coming out to Michigan now, not only for the Smoky Kush guys and Carlos and all them, but to meet you and your people as well.
Oh, thanks. Because look, I'm connected with all those guys. Those guys are all my friends. We don't even we never look at each other as competitors. We're just we're just another piece of the puzzle. That's all. Each of us individually are another piece of the puzzle.
Yo, and anybody who knows me, I have absolutely zero ego tied up with what I'm doing. If anybody didn't like something I did, it would never hit the stage again. Like, I tailor this for the show, for the people to have fun and a good time, and not to get... I never get political on stage. I never get political on Facebook or nothing. There's like a forum for that, and that's cool. But my stuff is just fun. It's the second favorite F word for everybody.
It's a 3-letter F word.
Exactly.
And it's a good one. I wanted to bring this back full circle about Paul Lynde. If you're into popular culture and all this stuff, if you look into cartoon characters, I'm a big fan of course, I can't not be, of the Sunday night comedy stuff on Fox, where they do the what is it, Animation Domination. It's all the animated shows. And, Seth MacFarlane, who does, Family Guy and American Dad and some of those shows.
I like his style, I will admit.
So Seth's a comedian and obviously very talented. He does music and Seth could do oh, good Lord. He could do a Broadway show. I mean, he's that talented. But so he does a lot of these character voices, and if you look at, and I recognized it immediately. But have you ever watched American Dad?
Yes, I have seen that one. Family Guy's a little more up my avenue, and I don't watch TV. So
that's okay. American Dad. If you get a chance, check out the alien on American Dad, because Seth MacFarlane, he patterned the voice after Paul Lynde.
Oh, wow, I've got to check it out. I'll pull it up on YouTube so I can see the alien.
Yeah.
I love Paul Lynde, so that alone would hook me.
Every time the alien talks, the first time I heard the alien talk on American Dad, I was like, oh my God, that's Paul Lynde. And then I actually heard Seth MacFarlane in an interview say, that was his homage to Paul Lynde because, it was so funny. He could not put in an alien. The alien plays kind of a gay alien. He's like, I don't know. It's like a Saturday Night Live with the ambiguously gay duo. It's kind of, hidden fun like that.
Yeah.
And
you know what? When you say homages, and just to share this with you, because you have a history, I can tell by talking to you, you know the references.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, there's a lot of homages in my show to Dean Martin and Sinatra.
Yeah.
Including the reason why I have an open invite for bongo players and acoustic guitar players on my stages. If guys are good guys and really fun, I'm trying to create, I'm not trying to imitate it, get me? I'm trying to recreate the Rat Pack energy of fun on stage, and I am right there with it. Like, I studied Sinatra and Dean Martin. I love those guys since I was a little kid, and I know everything they've done. I've read all their books and all. And the reason why the Rat Pack, and nobody's ever done this as far as I've seen, that Rat Pack show was 5 friends who performed having a ball, and 2,000 people enjoying the party with them. And that's my goal for the 420 punk show. When we do a punk show, that's the goal. You come out and join the party with us. It's not, hey, man, we're great and worship us kind of thing. We wrote these songs for everybody to be in it with us. So that's the energy of what I'm going for. So the homages, I appreciate when somebody does that because I know what that means. I even put Hunter S. Thompson in my songs and Sinatra in a pot song. And when you listen to the lyrics,
look at Sammy Davis. You know, tell me he wasn't a big pot fan.
Love it.
Tell me that Sinatra and Davis and Dean Martin weren't in a back smoky room. Tell me what the smoke was.
Their jokes were all about that. And if you listen to a live show, and they have a couple of them floating out there, like whole concerts, they made jokes left and right. They knew what was going on.
For sure. Sammy Davis, I love Sammy Davis Jr. Look, that guy was a stitch.
Me too. And I met a couple degrees of separation here. I met people who met Dean Martin, including a woman. Oh, this is a great one. I went to a party a woman she was a 65-year-old Italian grandmother, and she had a pool, and she knew I was, like, my girlfriend had gone to Italy for 2 weeks, and I was alone. So she invited me over with her retired friends swimming, and I said, I'll bartend for you, you know. So when I showed up, her name was Jackie, and I said, Jackie, I don't want to be rude, but I'm going to smoke a joint, and it's really good pot. And I said, I don't want to freak anybody out. Like, I don't want to be the druggie at your backyard barbecue, pool party. But at the same time, if anybody smokes, I would love to share, because I'm only going to take like a hit. I really don't smoke that much. I'll share. And I said, but I don't want to scare anybody. I said, I'll go out to my car and smoke a hit and come in and go swimming. She's like, she had a smoker's voice, and she's like, Scotty, come on in the backyard, you know? So I go in the backyard, and she's like, Max brought in a joint, and he wants to know if anybody wants to smoke with him. And all these 75-year-old people get out of the pool and surround me at the glass table next to the bar.
It's like a right out of Cocoon.
Yeah, exactly. so I passed this around, and they started telling me stories of smoking in the 50s and how much they paid for it, and I'm asking them all this stuff. Oh, it was great. And it turned into like this big, stoner retirement party.
Right.
It was pretty cool. Just a weird, surreal moment of my life.
Did any of them ask him if they could buy a lid from you? A lid?
Actually, they all asked to buy off me. I'm like, I don't sell. I just smoke, like you guys kind of thing.
Hey, young man, I've got some arthritis. Can I have some of that? Can I get a lid of that from you?
Yeah, it was so funny. They told me all the stuff from years ago, and how when Robert Mitchum smoked pot and they arrested him and put him in jail.
Oh, hang on. Sorry, I unplugged you. I'm sorry. I'm a dumbass. Hang on. Robert Mitchum, they put him in jail.
Career.
It helped his career. Of course it did.
Yeah, because he was a bad boy, tough guy, bad boy kind of thing, and it just boosted it with he was a regular guy.
He had like the Marlboro cigarette man kind of appearance. That was the Robert Mitchum,
Yeah.
Go ahead, knock it off my shoulder, I dare you kind of thing.
There's a lot of history out there that when you start delving on the internet, one of my biggest mentors is the guy who followed Einstein, Richard Feynman. He was a quantum physicist. And all these breakthroughs, they said he was the last true genius. And I read his books because I'm a huge quantum mechanics kind of hobby guy with how the brain works and without boring you guys.
But anyway, no, hey, quantum mechanics are fun to it's fun to just sit back, smoke one, and then think about the possibilities.
Exactly.
I'm just saying.
And one line in one of his biographies was that he was doing studies on the brain in a deprivation chamber, and he could reach a level of relaxation brainwaves-wise in 10 minutes when he smoked a little bit of pot.
Oh,
and he just right there said it.
When you do the sensory deprivation thing, Michael Jackson used to do the sensory deprivation thing. It sends you for a whole different experience. This is what the guys. This is what the guys that do the peyote in the hot Indian tents do. They do the same thing. It's sensory deprivation. They put you in a dark room, and they kind of skew your senses, and then let you just kind of search for God. That's what they do.
Yeah, and you know what? Hearing Richard Feynman, I totally get it because he was open-minded enough to give it a chance and see how it worked. And he found it to be a help to the one study they were doing. And to me, it was kind of an acknowledgement that he tried it. And if you see his interviews, you can tell that he was a really intelligent man. I don't know. It was just kind of a cool thing to find out that a mentor of mine had tried it and wasn't bashing it. He was actually leaning in towards it, helping him reach a mental state that he was shooting for.
All right, so I don't want to lose our audience too bad. I'm going to try something different here. So I took The monitor that I have here, I have to mute because if I don't, you'll hear everything that's on the radio, and then that causes a problem. It'll cause a feedback issue. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the monitor up. I'm going to unplug the phone from the system here so that you can hear the monitor when I play it. But I'm going to play you a little piece of American Dad with Roger on it, just so you can get a feel for the Paul Lynde voice. So I'm just going to put the speakerphone up. Right. So I'm unplug you from the radio now, and I'm going to play this for you. So stand by, get ready to hear this. I've unplugged you, and here you go. I'm put you on the speakerphone, and see if you can hear this little segment. This is off of YouTube. This is a segment.
Authorities confirmed the total number of raptured at 142 million. You may notice my partner Greg isn't here. That's because he was raptured. Apparently God does love gays, but only if they're tops.
Well, if we're going to be left behind, at least we're left behind together.
Yeah.
What the hell, Francine? I'm trying to rebuild my spaceship so I can get off this planet, but all my boxes of spare parts are full of Hard Rock Cafe sweatshirts.
Oops. There must have been a mix-up when I gave stuff to Goodwill.
Oh, okay. Well, as long as there's a good explanation. Didn't you hear the puppets? Demons are coming to rape our skulls!
Okay, now hang on. I'm gonna play a different one for you. Let me plug you back in for a second because that was bad audio. Whoever taped that YouTube piece taped it off their TV. They just put a camera on the TV.
Yeah, that's horrible when they do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna play a different one. This is a different segment. This one does not look like it was taped on TV. So I'm gonna do the same thing. Stand by. Here we go.
Laura Vanderbuben.
Oh, they did it again.
I just joined your workforce.
Oh, these people are awful. Hang on, I gotta find another one. They do this because they end up taking it down off the internet if they don't. Hang on, let's see if this one's better. Hang on, nobody can hear you, buddy. Hang on. Roger's best bits. Let's see what.
I'll take Roger. Wine lover, right here. Also a heroin lover, in case anyone wants to schedule a poppy tour. Huge heroin fan. Don't use it, just like being around it. Study it. Appreciate it. Use it sometimes.
Tuck yourself in tonight. We'll be late.
Well, you gotta be so damn important I don't get a forehead kiss.
Your mother and I are gonna go try to make some friends. I'll kiss your forehead for you.
Okay. Now I'm going to push it on pause because now you got a good sound. I'll kiss your forehead for you. Did you hear the Paul Lynde in that?
Yeah, definitely. And you know what? I'll kind of check out the alien thing because it's hard to find stuff, you know? I'm glad he patterned it after him.
Oh, it really is a great homage to Paul Lynde. God rest his soul. Paul used to do, if you don't know who Paul Lynde is, he's a 60s comedian. He's most notably, I think people would recognize him from I Dream of Jeannie.
That's right.
He played a major, some NASA major, some Army major. He was a secondary role, but on almost every show. And so he did that in the 60s. And then if you remember old cartoons, Charlotte's Web, he played Templeton the Rat.
Oh, no kidding. I forgot about that stuff. I remember him from Laugh-In.
Yeah, Laugh-In was his big thing in the 60s, too.
Oh,
early 70s.
That's funny, man. The outtakes from that. You can catch that online, the outtakes from Laugh-In. They were hysterical.
Some of that stuff, that old comedy sketch style, so that whole, the 60s music. Oh, God, it's like Benny Hill in America.
Yeah, exactly. And it's funny because I grew up on all that stuff and reaching back towards it, like, I still remember what makes me laugh to this day. Like, I have a lot of comedy background besides doing stand-up. So I just appreciate that stuff for being, the first. And those people were funny. And if you look back at it, they were all characters.
Right.
They weren't just doing... See, the problem I have with regular stand-up, and there's great guys out there, so this isn't a blanket statement.
Right.
My problem is they're not characters, they're formula guys trying to put a formula together that they're being told they have to do. They're not just being themselves,
right?
And they're funny characters.
Instead of being a chef and tasting the food and making the foods go together because you know how they do it, they're following a recipe. Somebody gave them a recipe.
Exactly. And I smell it a mile away, so it's really hard for me to get into a lot of new stuff. Although there is great stuff out there, I'm finding myself torn when I run into the formulas.
Well, and incidentally, that's the difference between a cook and a chef. A cook follows a recipe. A chef knows how the foods go together because he knows how the foods go together.
Exactly, and I do that too. I'm an Italian chef. I make the best Italian bread you've ever had.
Oh, Max, when you come up here, we're going to have a cook-off. That's what we're going to have to do.
Oh, definitely. And the only reason I had to learn how to make Italian bread is I couldn't get up before noon partying, and the Italian bakery would sell out of the fresh bread.
Oh, no, you'd have to make your own.
Yeah, and I had an Italian family I was living with, and I would miss getting the bread. It was like my big thing was I would cook Italian food, and we get stuck with supermarket Italian bread. So finally, I kind of got sick of missing the bread guy, and I'm like, you know what? If they can do it, I can do it. I know I can make it.
Are you down there in the Philly area? Where are you at in Pennsylvania?
Yeah, I'm just around Philadelphia, down in Pennsylvania. So
okay, so
I'm down in Philly.
You're like in the most populated part of the state.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, that's look. Philadelphia is a great place.
Oh, you know what it really is? It doesn't have the crowding of New York, but it has that crazy
urban feel,
variety of things. Yeah, it's kind of perfect. Like I've been up in New York for a couple of years in the '90s, with the high time stuff.
Right.
I would go up there on the weekends all the time, but it's a little too much for me to be jammed like that. I mean, I love it for a weekend or a couple days, but I couldn't live around there.
It's definitely culture shock. If you've not gone to the New York City and you take advantage of the local fare there, it's like, wow, this is like this all the time? Really? Wow, okay.
Yeah,
let me process that for a minute.
Yeah, I wear myself out up there, and I don't want to go to bed is the problem.
Okay, I don't want to lean too far from our subject and our conversation here. I don't want to lose our audience. So let me just push on. We stopped at the end of the show. We're actually going to go way too long if we don't do something. So I did want to play your song. This is My Addictions. You're going to hang on through the song because right after that I'll come back and we'll end up closing the show out. So I'm going to play My Addictions for the people. This is Max Random and the 420 Punks right here on RadioWeedShow.com. Stand by. Here we go.
I smoked pot. I drank a lot of scotch. And I've taken a tranquilizer or two. For 28 years now, I've enjoyed them all. Hey, it's what I love to do. But it's not the pills, and definitely not the weed, and it's not the booze I'm addicted to. I'm addicted to relaxing. I'm addicted to hanging with my friends. I'm addicted to having a good time. I'm addicted to not letting in friends and me together. We're addicted to relaxing. We're addicted to doing nothing fast. We're addicted to eating good munchies. We're addicted to having a blast. Now the pills, they sure feel good when my body is aches and pains. And sometimes it feels oh so good just turning off my brain. Now the weed'll make you forget things. Yeah, that's definitely true. It'll help you to forget all the bad things that have ever happened to you. Now the booze, that's my favorite. When I have some, I always share. It makes my life such an awesome party, and I can buy it damn near anywhere. But I'm addicted to relaxing. I'm addicted to hanging with friends. I'm addicted to having a good time. I'm addicted to not letting it in friends and me together. We're addicted to relaxing. We're addicted to doing nothing fast. We're addicted to eating good munchies. We're addicted to having a laugh. Now at my intervention, they said that I would get to choose. They said I could stay with my family and their dramas, or I could leave with my precious booze. Decisions, decisions. Let's raise our glass to those no longer around. Let's hope they find weed and pills and booze while they still have some precious time, so we can all be addicted to relaxing, addicted to hanging with friends, addicted to having a good time, addicted to not letting it in. All of us together, we're addicted to relaxing, addicted to doing nothing fast, addicted to eating good munchies, addicted to having a blast.
And there you go. It's Max Random. Max, that's a good song, dude. It's all the stuff that you're addicted to in life.
Exactly.
Hang on. Hang on, I gotta fix this. We've turned the music up here in the background so that I didn't know it was gonna roll into the next song. There you go. Sorry about that. We were about to play Das Boot.
Oh, that's a favorite around here, but there's cursing in it.
Yeah, that's okay. I mean, occasionally, like I say, I just try not to beat up people with. I don't think it's necessary to swear and curse and cuss to like make a point.
No, this one just happens to be. That's a Philadelphia thing. They have here something called a Philadelphia duck boat. Did you ever hear the duck boat tragedy? It's made the news in the last the last year.
Yeah.
Well, here they have this stinking thing totally not designed for people. It's designed for military personnel to cross a river in. And what they do is they sell tickets to tourists to ride this thing into our river. And where they take it in Philadelphia is the big shipping lanes. They drop this thing full of tourists that's barely seaworthy, and they ride them in a circle in front of the giant ships. And one got run down by a barge and killed a couple people. So I wrote a protest song against them, and it's called Das Boot, and it's also called the Philadelphia Duck Boat song. The worst part about writing it is people really like it, and I had after I started playing it and people started requesting it, I kind of got this, oh no, what did I do kind of thing, because I thought the last thing I want to be known for is the guy who wrote the Duck Boat song. I thought a disco duck. You know what I mean? Like, there's this huge novelty hit, and that poor guy lived his whole life as the guy who did Disco Duck.
Oh, you're going to become the next Gilligan, Bob Denver never got another job in his life after he'd played Gilligan.
I know. So I thought, oh, please, don't let this song be the one that's a hit kind of a thing.
He's not known for being the funny pot guy anymore. He's the naked cowboy or something.
Yeah. So anyway, that's the Das Boat song. If anybody, goes to the website and listens to it, believe it or not, people love it, but Philadelphia, it's real close to home because we hate those boats here. And it was inspired in a weird way. There's a park they built underneath a giant bridge in Philadelphia. It's called the Race Street Park. It's beautiful. So I decided to meet some guitar friends to jam and practice our sets outdoors, in the summer. And here, I didn't know, it's right next to the ramp for the duck boats. So every 10 minutes, they come dropping in the river full of tourists. And because they got run down by a barge, they installed this ear-piercing siren that they let off when they go in the water. And it drowned us out every 10 minutes. So by the end of the thing, I said, I'm going to write a duck boat song, man, so nobody rides this damn thing anymore. And the next day, I called everybody up and I said, I got the song. I'll see you at the next practice with it.
That's a great story.
Yeah, thanks, man.
So we're just about at the end of the show. We only got a couple minutes left in the show. I wanted to drop people again. So your website address and name. It's go ahead and give it to them.
420punk.com. And if you have Facebook, like the 500 million people do, add me as a friend on Facebook. I'm like 20 people away from 2,000. I'm trying to bust it and then get a page going so I can tour next year. So I want to host the biggest 420 parties in the country is my end goal. So when you see a Max Random in the 420 Punk show in your area, you can come out and have a good time, and it's going to be catered to you.
Well, we're getting ready to do with the Michigan Organic Solutions up there in Flint, in Ann Arbor. Come the end of January, they're doing a big event out there, and we're gonna hold, I believe, the first annual Michigan Medical Marijuana Awards. It'll be a whole Academy Awards kind of thing, recognizing people who've made significant contributions to this community and the cause, and trying to fight back against the man. It's horrible to get a fight like that. But we're going to do this awards banquet. Maybe we can invite you to be on stage. That would be really fun.
Boy, I would be thrilled. It would be an honor for me to be acknowledged and be able to get up there and play for it. So
I'll talk to Ben about it. We'll put the the pedal to the metal and see if we can't make that work out.
Awesome.
So
hey, thank you very much for putting the word in.
Not a problem at all. What are you doing for Thanksgiving, Max?
I actually have two families that co-adopted me. I don't really have any family of my own, and going to spend a day with them. It's kind of nice. I'll tell you something. Being a bit of an orphan at this point, I walked outside the house when they were having a dinner, and here's something you take for granted if you have a family.
Right.
I really got a good feeling hearing the dishes clank, people doing dishes. It's that sound of like a whole family getting together.
It's
and
the
you're doing
domestic
the dishes.
sounds.
Yeah, and I travel a lot and I do a lot of stuff, and I really don't have close family. So it's a real nice thing. I think a lot of people take for granted. But that Thanksgiving to me is one of the nicest things, to get to spend time with anyone's family. And so that's what I'm doing. Two different families, and I'm swinging by and hanging. And the second one, we're playing songs and music out on the porch. So the best is they'll sing and play. Their grandmother and their aunt and everybody will sing along to my pop songs and my weird songs. They love it and support it. So it's really cool.
We hope to see you out here at the awards ceremony. Thanks, Max, for coming on the show. We just got seconds left. We got to sign off, so we'll talk to you sometime very soon. Enjoy the Thanksgiving fair.
Yes, sir. You too. Happy Thanksgiving to you and all you do.
Thank you, sir. We'll talk to you sometime very soon. Thanks for joining us on the Medical Marijuana Radio Show. Check us out on RadioWeedShow.com. We'll see you next time, folks. Eat some turkey for me.
The Medical Marijuana Radio Show and RadioWeedShow.com are trademarks. Copyright 2011.
The Medical Marijuana Radio Network.
Today